Let's get nasty on a Monday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 203. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Appreciate everybody tuned in today. You can always reach us during the show via the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. You can also leave us a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop if you'd like. That's via the 101 ESPN Dobbs Tire Auto Center's mobile app. Shout out to our Snake Pit. That's our YouTube channel. Always tuned in throughout the course of the show. Again, we appreciate you. All right, Blues remain in the playoff mix. That's our lead today. Despite not having Colton Parayko in the lineup, Blues managed to get 3 of 4 available points over the weekend. They rallied to tie L.A. in the third period. I thought that was a kind of a playoff feel with the amount of blocked shots that they had defensively. Cam Fowler, congratulations to him and his family, his wife. They celebrated the birth of their another child. But he doesn't play. He doesn't play, and neither does obviously Colton Parayko, who's out. So that's a tough task for a lot of these young guys and the remaining veterans for the defense corps. Yet they were constantly blocking shots. They were constantly laying down. Joel Hofer was like, yeah, it's easy for me. I got padding. They don't. And something you have talked about before, Jamie.
That for years. Everybody's like, oh, the goalie's crazy. I'm like, no, actually, he's smart.
Yeah.
Because he wears the gear.
He might be crazy. The defensemen and the forwards, for that matter, those that block shots, they might be crazier. But
it's in play.
I mean, good for them. They had to do what they had to do over the weekend. They get 3 of 4 points, so excellent. Good for them for stepping up.
That's your attitude today?
Good for them for stepping up.
I thought he was positive.
No, it's more like, yeah, whatever, man. Good for them. Like,
well, no, I thought
good for them for stepping up.
No, I think he meant like good
guys,
job.
And believing in themselves.
Maybe I misread it, okay?
Possibly.
I'm sorry.
I think so.
That you heard it that
way. He landed the plane. Got it.
No.
Your thoughts?
First of all, what a week it was. Honestly, I remember sitting with Al McInnes for the Dallas game. We didn't broadcast that game. And we were talking just about the road trip that lied ahead for the team. A bit of a gauntlet. You know, like the Ducks were 6-3 heading into that game against the Blues in their last 6-3-1 in their last 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
The Kings are a playoff team. They're a good team. You beat the heck out of them here. They're waiting in L.A. for you. By the way, there are only 3 losses in regulation at home this year.
Yeah, that's true. They've been outstanding.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
And Al and I were talking. We said, you know what? Sometimes these trips, you get out, you get to the sunshine, SoCal, and enjoying life, and you start to feel good, and things can be just different, Sure as heck. It happened that way. It was a very galvanizing week for the Blues. I'm not going to dive too far behind the curtain. Not that there's anything to really unveil, but the place where the players stayed was a great spot. It was very everybody always had to go through the lobby at some point. Mm-hmm. So you couldn't just disappear. People got together, they ate together, they had a few drinks together, they talked. Some guys played golf, other guys did other things. It was a very good trip for the culture of the team away from the ice. But what happened was, while on the ice, the culture also galvanized itself. And this is a team now that you walk around this team and you'd think they're first overall in the NHL. They won't be beat. They can't be beat. We're going to win this game. Not a big deal. Let's get the 2 points and let's get out of here. Mm-hmm. That hasn't been there in years for this team. The feeling of that, for me, even just an outsider looking in. And so to go into L.A., win a huge game there. By the way, Jordan Binnington, he decided to turn it up and said to the Kings, you're not going to score anymore tonight. Thank you. Get out of the way. Let's get to Anaheim.
Yeah.
Played unbelievable in that game. Anaheim, fast, young team. I mean, really fast team. You get down early. Could have been a game where tonight's not the night. No, you came back. You pushed it right to the end, right to the very last second of the game. It was intense. Then Colton Parayko from the first LA Kings game, you find out he's going to be out. It's okay. Cam Fowler had a hell of a game.
Yeah.
His first game back in Anaheim since being traded. He spent all of his career in Anaheim, I think 14 years or something like that. So it was an emotional game for him. He steps up, has a great game. Then he gets the call that his wife's going into labor. He's got to get home. Rightfully so. And Jim Montgomery said it best in one of his pressers. He said, listen, family first. We'll figure out the 2 points, family first. And so he had a beautiful baby boy. Bo Fowler is his name, so congratulations to the Fowlers. But the L.A. game, Anthony, that's the one that, it's the loss, okay? The only loss on the West Coast swing, and I'm not counting Dallas, in those 3 games.
Yeah.
Yet, it told me more about this team than the 2 wins. Because you're down your top 2 defensemen, in my opinion, Cam Fowler and Colton Parayko. I think Philip Broberg's a close third to those 2 guys. Would have been easy to be like, well, it's been a pretty good trip. Beat LA 2 out of 3 times. We're going to be just fine. This team came out and played, man.
Yeah.
Came out and played. You talk about blocking shots. Guys are laying out there, sacrificing their bodies, and like blocking shots the worst way possible. Like I'm looking at them, guys, what are you doing? Like if I block shots
they
like
want
that,
the pain.
My career would have been like a year and a half. They're just like, oh my God, like sticking your leg out where there's no protection on the inside of your foot and all this. Guys, anyways, 15, 20 ice bags around the locker room following the game.
Yeah.
And you could see the effort on the ice. They were disappointed they didn't get the 2 points, but they did. They did muster up 1 of a possible 2 in that game and kept the point streak going here. They've had a point in every game except for Dallas since the 4 Nations break.
Yeah.
It's just a different team, man. This team feels like it's not going to be denied getting into the playoffs. Now, the odds are still against them. It's fine. But don't tell them that because they don't believe it.
Yeah, I think they've been playing outstanding. 7-3 in their last 10 games. 2 of those losses were the overtime losses, shootout in overtime. The one loss to Dallas, even though they lost 6-3, I still felt like they were competing the entire game. And so it's strange, right? When you find a team, when they figure it out, how to play together, how to work. Nothing changed in terms of talent. The only thing that changed is the mindset. Like, we're going to play hard every single night. We're going to work. We're going to do the things that our coach has been asking us to do. You know, we haven't done it. We hadn't done it up until this point. And hell, maybe he knows what the hell he's talking about. It's actually bearing fruit. So, you know, for me, it's fun to watch. They're a fun team to watch. They weren't fun at times earlier this season because you're like, well, I know it's there. Why isn't it consistent? Yeah. And now you're starting to see the consistency of it. You get a few days off, which I'm sure they needed, being on the road for that many days, being able to come home, relax, rest, and then get back on the road. But for me, this team is playing at a level that can make the playoffs and probably, depending on how everything shakes out, probably should make the playoffs if they continue to play at this high of a level.
Well, they get Cam Fowler back for the next game, which is in Pittsburgh. So although the road trip although they're home, the road trip continues because they play Pittsburgh and then in Minnesota on Saturday. But following that, boys, the schedule lightens up for the Blues to the point where I believe I read, could be wrong, but I think I'm right. They have the 2nd easiest schedule the remainder of the season. Now, you got to win the games, obviously, and other teams are going to be playing for pride and contracts and all that stuff. But it certainly creates some runway for you to go and get this thing done and get the team into the playoffs. And if they get into the playoffs playing the way they are right now, I can't imagine a team being thrilled about facing them in the first round.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, they're that team that starts to figure out who they are late in the year. And if they do get some of the, like if Parayko were to get healthy enough for the postseason, you're right, they're that team that gets in there like, oh, crap.
Especially as hard as they're playing right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather play somebody else, please.
Right. Even if you just snuck in. You'd rather face a team that's kind of like they hung on for dear life to get into the playoffs as opposed to, you know, basically hard charging their way in. Yeah. All right, it's fascinating. 101 ESPN. The Cardinals and the Blues in good hands when it comes to their culture. Braden Shen talked about building a culture and how to do so, but what about the Cardinals after they moved on from Paul Goldschmidt this offseason? That's next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, fellas, it's Carey Davis, and you need to go to BlueChew.com. If you have not done it yet, you need to go there. Why? Because your partner wants you to. Your partner needs you to. You want to upgrade your sex life. Well, Blue Chew can help. You probably know by now that Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. So what are you waiting for? You need to try it. And if you're ready for a great offer, how about free? Go to BlueChew.com and get your first month free when you use our promo code WXOS at checkout and just pay $5 in shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code WXOS to receive your first month free. Then you can chew it and do it. Fellas, it'll be there. It'll be ready, and you will be ready. Blue Chew is your secret weapon for the bedroom or wherever you want to get it on. Turn oh no into oh yes. We know that pro athletes, we train every single day to perform better on the field. But what if you can improve your performance in the bedroom? No training required. That's right, BlueChew.com. Go to it now so you can chew it and do it.
From my perspective and a few others, we haven't had this feeling in a couple of years. So, it's important, to keep pushing this forward. St. Louis is going to be obviously set up good for the future, but these are big games to play in. It gets guys competitive. It gets guys, playing for one another, and that's how you establish or start building a culture and a winning culture again. So.
That was Braden Shen talking about the Blues being able to build that winning culture over the last, couple of weeks, maybe a month. I don't know when they actually set forth like building that culture within that clubhouse. I'm sure Montgomery, he was doing it right away, but for the players to have the buy-in and to all believe that they have their roles, they know what their roles are, and they're going to perform to those roles, that takes some time. It seems like the Blues have found theirs. If we transition to the Cardinals, who lose Paul Goldschmidt in the offseason, they allow him to walk in free agency and go to the Yankees. MLB.com wrote an article about Goldie's leadership being missed and who's going to step up. one of the guys that they mentioned is the 28-year-old Brendan Donovan. And we've talked about his impact in that clubhouse and the way that he treats younger players.
Yep.
Well liked by everyone in that clubhouse. He's part of that culture building. You guys, though, you both were in multiple different clubhouses. Some I'm sure were or locker rooms. Some I'm sure were great. Some were poor. How do you properly build a sound culture in professional sports?
Yeah, I don't think there's an exact blueprint as to how you build a culture, at least from my perspective, because it evolves in different ways for each team. If we're going to isolate the Blues on this one here, for me, it goes back to the moment Jim Montgomery had his very first presser. Madison Square Garden, he's standing there, and he says, it's great to be a Blue, all this stuff, and then he talks about blue-collar hockey. People of St. Louis are blue-collar people. They want a blue-collar team. That's what Blues hockey is. And they didn't have it right away. Some guys did, some guys didn't. Mm-hmm. Some guys did on some nights, some guys did on other nights. But this is what you've seen evolve here now, is these play, and Monty keeps saying it. The end of the game the other night in Anaheim, he saw it on internet or on social media. That's Blues hockey, boys. That's how we play. We're out there. We protect each other. We block shots. We do whatever it takes. That's Blues hockey. Boom. So he's reinforcing it every time. It's like when you train a dog. I'm not calling players dogs, but we're not far from it, Carey. You know that.
Yeah.
It's like training a dog. Every time it does something right, you praise it. Oh, okay. I'm going to do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give him a treat.
Give him a treat. Here you go. Here you go. And that's what's going on with the Blues right now.
Yeah.
And Monty talks about sacrificing of yourself for the team and all this. And then you see guys laying out, blocking shots, do it. Every scrum, 5 jerseys with Blue Notes are in there. Not fighting every time, but grabbing guys around the face, making sure his teammate's not getting jobbed in the corner by somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that has been what has made this culture right now. And right now the Blues culture is blue-collar hockey. We're the team nobody wants to play because we work so damn hard and we're crazy. We don't care. Mm-hmm. So that's for the Blues. Now, Carey, I'll let you speak from a football side of things because there's way more players in a football roster.
Well, it all is the same, though. It starts with the leadership in that locker room, in that clubhouse, in that dressing room, whatever sport you're playing. It starts with the leadership from there, and guys really, everyone buying in, and you're not always going to agree, but when the plan is set in front of you and you know exactly what you need to do and everyone holds each other accountable. I've said it, our team captain was James Ferrier. Like when James Ferrier said something, when Potsy said something, you did it. You didn't question it. You didn't ask. The message was always clear. It was always coming from a place where this is your brother. We want to win championships. And I think what the Blues are experiencing right now, and hopefully the Cardinals, part of the culture comes from being in playoffs, like being a playoff team, because that builds and that bonds your team, because now it's win or go home. When you're in the regular season, you can lose a game and it doesn't feel good, but it's not as much pressure as in the playoffs. The Blues, in my opinion, since the Four Nations tournament, have essentially been in the playoffs. This is their playoff run. If they don't play well, if they haven't or hadn't played well up to this point, we wouldn't even be talking about them potentially being a playoff team.
Yeah.
So the pressure has already been added to their end of their schedule, because playoffs is way more intense than the regular season, because you can go home and everything is fine in a regular season game. Mm-hmm. You lose a playoff game, we might not be playing hockey or playing baseball or football for some months.
Right.
So the pressure is added. So I think the playoff element adds to that culture as well, because now people start to buy in. You see teams, you very rarely see a non-playoff team like, they have a great culture, don't they? No, they don't. Who the hell gives a damn who gives a damn what the White Sox? What's the White Sox culture? You don't know.
Losing.
Because they don't have one. But a team that wins, the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Met, like teams that you feel are good teams, the Warriors in basketball, you say they have a culture because they win, and they win in the playoffs because that's the expectation. And I think that's where the Blues are now, and I think that's why we haven't had what we consider a culture for the Cardinals, because they haven't had this push in a while.
Do you think it's harder to have culture on a baseball team? And the reason I ask, and I'm
an individual sport.
Yeah, like I hope I'm not. I hope I'm not being an idiot right now. I mean, it's always in play, but
you probably are, actually.
It's probably baseball player out there right now saying, "You idiot."
Hey, you're no idiot.
Yeah, well, sometimes. But I'm okay with that.
No, you're not.
I'm not okay with it?
No, you're not an idiot.
Oh. Well, thank you, Anthony. Appreciate that. I feel like something's coming here down the pipe, but that's okay. I just feel like in hockey, you have 6 guys on the ice. That's including the goalie. 5 guys plus the goalie on the ice, working for each other at all times.
Working in unison.
You have to be. Like the system has to be run the right way. You have to be standing in the right spot. You have to get to the right spot. You have to block the shot. You have to make the hit. You have to take the hit. Everybody's together in this thing. Football, the same. Every play, whether it's offense or defense, you have to work as a unit.
Yeah.
In baseball, you could say that from the, I guess, like the pitcher and the catcher to me, like that's teammates are working together.
Yeah.
Center fielder making a catch, like that's his ball. It doesn't. The left fielder doesn't come over and like help him. I mean, back him up, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I think you nailed it from the standpoint of there are certain spots on the fields where you can have that camaraderie, like you're saying with you got the battery mates with pitching and catching.
Maybe shortstop, second baseman.
And second baseman, definitely, because you got to be in communication, especially when it comes to stolen bases and who's covering the bag, and you first baseman and third baseman, the corner spots need to be in constant communication for the guys behind them in terms of where you're cutting that throw off and where you need to be. Center field, you're the leader of the outfield, so there is some of that. But I understand what you're saying. It is an individual sport, and not everybody 1 through 9 is going to get hits in the lineup. So you're inevitably going to have that 0 for 4 guy that had 2 Ks, and yet you win, and everybody's excited, and you feel good too, but you're not contributing the way you want to. So I think you can develop that, but Jamie, to your overall point, I wonder if it's a little tougher, especially over 162 games. Plus, at the pro level, a lot of these guys they're not countrymen. I mean, I guess in hockey it's the same deal, so maybe I shouldn't go down that route. But
yeah, but I feel like it's different. I feel like in hockey, like even the kid who grew up playing hockey in Sweden, when he comes over to play for the Blues, like it's the team game.
Yeah,
like that hasn't changed.
Right.
Maybe the way they do things or run a practice and all like that could be different. But yeah, baseball, I just feel like 162 games. It's a lot. It's not like in baseball you're down by a run, and you're automatically. I'm just gonna get a single here. Just gonna work my ass off and get a single. Well, it's not guaranteed that you're gonna get a single. Whereas in hockey, you're gonna say, I'm just gonna block this shot because we're up by a goal.
Right.
And you can physically block the shot. Because it doesn't take talent, it just takes guts.
Sure.
And in football, I don't know, maybe it's a block that you're making or a tackle that you're able to make. I don't know, Marshy, what do you think?
Well, I think that's part of the culture. For me, culture is teaching younger players how to be a pro and how to go about the game in a certain way. Like going back to the article that you brought up, Anthony, Brendan Donovan talks about Paul Goldschmidt, who's no longer a Cardinal. He called him an extreme role model. He said that he's one of those guys that took me under his wing immediately. Just his presence on a daily basis, the attention to detail, the caring he had, not to mention a fantastic baseball player, but an even better person. He then went on to say, I think it's important to invest in those around you. If you want to win, I think it's important that you care about the guys and you try to keep the house in order. Leadership isn't something you seek. It's something where you show up on a daily basis and you set an example. That's kind of how I view leadership. So I think it could work in baseball. Something,
though, that you just said there when you were reading that, I'm pretty sure you actually used the word, maybe it rattled around in my head, and it's a word you invoked out of me, but consistency. It's about consistency. It's about showing up every day, having the same or similar attitude that, we are a team. Let's believe in ourselves. Carey mentioned accountability. We say things all the time about like leadership and teamwork, but if you're somebody that the next guy can rely on, I also think that will build a strong culture.
Yes.
I know you're going to be there. I know that if I'm going through something, you're going to pick me up. And I know then that you're also going to do it for the next guy and the next guy. And then all of a sudden you've got a winning culture. So I do think consistency matters as well.
I think a lot of people are concerned whether or not the Cardinals have that culture. The Cardinal way. Do they have the Cardinal way still? Like, guys like Brendan Donovan, when I hear him talk and then I go and watch him play baseball, I still believe that that's still in that clubhouse. It's just a younger group.
With one guy, it is.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe they're building.
No, I'm specifically talking about him.
Right.
I'm not saying the Cardinals don't have other guys that work hard, play hard. I think.
It takes time, though. It's going to take time. It might take a little while for everybody to build. I mean, we're talking about the Blues now in this respect, but
the last couple of years, the culture hasn't been great.
Exactly. So, I think that culture can be cyclical. You get certain guys in a clubhouse or a locker room that, I mean, that I think one guy can really, and I don't have anybody in mind, but I think one player can really hinder the vibes in a clubhouse or locker room.
It can also improve it, too.
That's true, too.
Because I've noticed something very subtle, but since the arrival of Cam Fowler, he's a leader. He's not a rah-rah guy, all that stuff. When he speaks to the guys, people listen, but he goes out there and backs it up. Every single game he plays at a high level. Yeah. If you play him 30 minutes, you're going to get the same in the last shift as you did the first shift. And it's another older player that brings in a wealth of knowledge. And that's why Ryan Suter, Cam Fowler, Justin Falk, Colton Parayko, Nick Leddy, these are guys that are part of what I would consider to be one of the deepest defensive cores in the league right now. But they're also leaders in different ways, and they're all playing the game the right way this season. And that helps the young guys. They look at that. The oldest guys on the team are playing the hardest, they're playing the most, and they're leading by example.
Sure.
Well, you better pull up your boots and play the game the right way, or you don't play it. And I think that's the wonderful thing that Monty has done here, is Matthew Joseph, in and out of the lineup to start the season, couldn't find his spot, this, that, the other. He got benched for the third period, but he has figured out how to stay in the lineup. He's awesome on the forecheck right now, really helped the penalty kill. He's been an energy guy out there. Him and Bolduc are flying around, and Monty won't take him out of the lineup now.
Yeah.
He's not the swingman right now. I don't know who is. And I feel bad for Alex Texier because that's how it works. A team finds a groove, and all of a sudden you're the odd man out because you got sick, which isn't your fault, but it's the Wally Pipp thing.
Right.
Who comes out of the lineup right now? As hard as this team is playing, barring an injury, who do you take out of the lineup? And for what reason?
Right.
And again, that goes back to me to the culture, is Matthew Joseph figured out his spot within the group now, and you talk about, you can count on a guy, right? Now you can count on him to be doing his job every single time. So that helps.
Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter. Speaking of Marsh, he's got what's trending next on 101 ESPN. When it comes to Mosby Building Arts, you're going to get the right remodeler. I love Mosby Building Arts. I love the people. I love that I've gotten a chance to get to know them and have them actually work on our house. We had doors that were installed a couple of months ago now, and it was amazing to see them come in from start to finish, explain what's going on, explain why we're having issues within our house and why the rain continues to, find its way through into the basement. Mosby Building Arts is the only company out of the several that we talked to that actually explained what the problem was. And when they sat down and talked about the pricing, they said, look, this is what the entire project is going to cost. They're not one of these wrong remodelers that come in and say, well, this is your cost. You feel like you're saving everything. And then 3 weeks down the road, they're adding things. Well, it's actually more expensive than we thought. Or, you get a remodeling company, and we've all been there, where maybe you think you're saving up front, and when it's all said and done, you could have went with a more reliable company because it's going to cost you the same. Mosby Building Arts, high-quality work, designers with great taste. So whether you're doing a bathroom remodel or a master bath remodel, go with Mosby. Give them a call. 314-909-1800. Tell them Stalter sent you. Call Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company, or visit callmosby.com. Schedule a free consultation today, and you can see the difference yourself.
.101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues pick up 3 of a possible 4 points over the weekend in California. A 4-3 victory over the Anaheim Ducks and a 2-1 overtime loss against the LA Kings. They'll have to wait till Thursday. We'll have to wait till Thursday for another Blues game as they take on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Pregame starts at 5 o'clock. Puck drop is at 6. Also this weekend, after 2 draws, City SC wins in LA 3-0. They'll take on Seattle on Saturday. And then we have a couple of local basketball teams trending in opposite directions. Mizzou, a 91-83 loss against Kentucky. They have lost 3 straight. And Carey's Illini, 3 straight wins. We'll dive into that next right here in the Fast Lane with What's Trending. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
What are the hot topics in the sports world?
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending, brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Carey, 3 straight wins for your Illini. They're trending at the right time, heading into the Big Ten tournament. 3 straight wins.
Don't act like you're on board.
I'm on board,
After
Jamie.
what you said about that team?
Jamie, that was one game.
You said some pretty messed
That was
up
one
stuff.
game. It was one game. You know what I realized? The reason, and T-Bone and I were talking about this on his way out.
Okay. Another fair weather.
Yeah, he's in the line. Right?
Well, that's not what I said.
No.
Go ahead.
It's fair weather. Whatever. The thing that I learned or have realized, they take a lot of threes, right? And I went on epic rant about how frustrated I was about them taking so many threes and missing them. You know what they didn't do well in that game? They didn't offensively rebound. They didn't get to the boards. Against Michigan, they missed a lot of threes as well, but they had 19 offensive rebounds, which gives yourself another chance to do what, Anthony? Shoot another three. And damn it, if you keep shooting them, at some point you're going to make them. Fast lane it, let's do it.
Now he's on board.
Yeah, keep shooting them.
Now he's on board for shooting them threes.
If you miss them,
all of a sudden
get the
he loves
damn
it.
rebound. As long as you
All
get
you
the
needed
rebound.
was Dennis Rodman under the rim.
That's it.
That's it.
Get the worm on your team. Go rebound the ball. Get another chance. Shoot it again. Eventually, the law of averages is going to go in, right? At some point.
Depends on who's shooting, I guess.
Keep shooting. Yeah, anyone is liable to make one at some point, right? You get enough shots.
You would
Shoot
think.
Shoot them.
It is amazing.
You got them, shoot them. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
The
three, yeah. It is amazing how quickly things have changed here for the local college basketball teams.
Oh, it's bad.
At least
Why?
Mizzou
What's
and
wrong
Illinois.
with Mizzou?
Their defense a little leaky. And our guy Zoosh is all fired up for his Kentucky Wildcats. That was a big weekend for them. Big game on Saturday for Kentucky as they go out to Columbia. Yeah, Mizzou defense a little leaky.
And that was the one thing I thought they hung their hats on. Like, they played really well, really good defense. But that game, was it Arkansas we talked about last week, where they had so many points in the paint?
Yes.
It was just ridiculous. Was it Arkansas? I can't remember which game. I think it was Arkansas that they played last week. Not before they played Kentucky and before they played whoever,
Yeah.
But either way, they gave up so many points in the paint, and that was my one thing. I told you, when they played the Illini, I felt like they were too small on the interior. Like on the perimeter. Oklahoma.
That's
there you
what
go.
Yeah.
They're too small on the interior. On the perimeter, I think they're fine. But if you can get into the teeth of their defense, it's hard for them to stop you.
Very true.
And so that's kind of Mizzou's problem. They're going to have to. They're not going to grow overnight. So they're going to have to continue to play hard on-ball defense and not let them get the ball in the paint. If they can do that, they can win games because they are athletic enough and skilled enough. But the interior defense is, for me, what they were lacking and have been lacking.
Yeah.
So,
hey, by the way,
Illini, damn it, go Illini.
Speaking of local basketball, congratulations to SIUE. They won the OVC. Yeah, so they secured the first ever bid to the NCAA tournament. Man, that's awesome. Yeah, Joe Pott. He's the play-by-play man. I think he was tweeting out, or maybe he said it on Facebook. He's like, man, this is the moment. I've been dreaming about this. He got to call that. But yeah, congratulations to, again, SIUE for winning the Ohio Valley Conference tournament and get that automatic bid into the NCAA tournament. So, way to go. Good stuff.
City SC with a huge victory as
3-0.
well. 3-0. Roman Berkey doing Roman Berkey things. And then they defeat the defending MLS champs, the LA Galaxy. So, big win for City SC. The first two matches 0-0 both times. So to see the
and in different ways, right?
You're right.
Yeah. So the first match, Berkey didn't have to do anything. They just kept pouring on their own, the shots. They did a great job just from a possession standpoint. But Berkey records another clean sheet, and he records 8 crucial saves. I mean, he made big saves in that match and thwarted a lot of the Galaxy attempts. I mean, there was a couple of guys there. I'm going to screw up the names, but I think Pac, Reese, Ramirez, they all had big shots that Berkey came up big. So good for them. They defeat the defending champs, right? 'Cause I think Galaxy won last year.
They just have to ride on the coattails of Roman Berkey again, just like the year one. It's got to make 8-9 saves a game. No,
that's fine.
We've seen the Blues are somewhat doing it. The Jordan Binnington sort of, keeping the team alive, and then all of a sudden the guys in front.
Jordan Binnington's a Stanley Cup champion. I don't know why I said that. I just felt
what the hell?
He was on your side.
I don't know where that came from.
Well, I think Jamie's fired up.
I don't know where that came from.
He hasn't been in studio for a while, so he's like,
he's trying to fight.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, it's okay, Marsh. You know what?
I'm
You're
not
doing
the text
great.
line. You can understand what I'm saying and how I say it.
Whoa, that was a shot at the
all of us.
many texters. No,
Wasn't all
I think it was at the
texters.
texters.
That wasn't all texters.
No, reference here before you guys jump all over me.
I'm allowing you to provide
You
some
forgot
context.
the
that's all.
LOL.
Jamie sometimes reads text messages from our text line with fire.
That makes sense. You're right.
You're right, Andrew.
You're right.
All
You know
I was
what?
saying was I'm not the text line.
Andrew?
I'm glad you clarified so that the texters didn't feel as though that you were attacking them while returning fire to Jamie.
Yeah,
That's
Andrew,
all.
I apologize.
Well,
Okay.
thank you.
I should have heard you out.
Thank you, Eggplant Emoji. It's pronounced Marco Royce. I said I was going to screw up that name. Eggplant Emoji had my back on that one. Thank you. Royce. Excuse me.
Royce Clayton.
No, not Royce Clayton. Marco
Rolls
Royce.
Hoist
I
Gracie.
said Reese.
Rolls Royce? No. Okay.
You got one of those too?
Not yet.
I like the
Working
way
on
you
it.
said that. Not yet. Never know what's coming down the pipeline. Hey, we got to get in some NFL topics next. Are you excited?
Oh, man.
Oh, DK Metcalf?
Hey, man.
Aaron Rodgers?
Hey, Ron, coming to Pittsburgh?
I don't know.
A lot of quarterback movements, especially today. Sam Darnold goes to Seattle
Marshy's
after over
guy.
the weekend the Seahawks traded Geno Smith to the Raiders.
It's puzzling.
We'll get into all the NFL latest news and notes next on 101 ESPN.
We all know heating and cooling companies are a dime a dozen, but what separates Elite Comfort Experts is their motto. No gimmicks, just guarantees. Elite Comfort Experts won't raise your price just so they can give you an offer and the perception of getting a great deal. Elite Comfort Experts want to earn your trust, not dig as far as possible into your wallet. They are the best in the business for so many reasons. And Elite Comfort Experts, they do business the right way. One that creates long-term relationships, lasting companies, and enables them to get a good night's sleep. Knowing Katie and the crew over at Elite Comfort Experts, they're going to make sure they get it right for you. If you got a problem, they're going to get in, they're going to fix it. If you're not satisfied, they'll go back and make sure that it's fixed and that you're completely satisfied. They treat their company like a family, which is exactly the way they treat their customers, like family. And they're going to be there for you no matter what through all of your HVAC needs. So please connect with them today over at the website. That's EliteComfortExperts.com. Remember, no gimmicks, just guarantees. Again, that's EliteComfortExperts.com.
We'll probably need a couple of segments throughout the course of the show to get through all of the NFL tampering period and the signings that we're seeing right now.
Can you call it tampering?
They should just call it the opening of free agency.
Yeah, Carey, explain that to me.
I don't know. I have no clue. I mean, it might be based on the league
tampering.
year.
The legal tampering.
How about you just call it free agency?
Well, it might be based on the league year. I don't know. I don't know why they call it legal tampering. You might as well just make it, available.
Early bird special?
There you go.
It's just whatever it is. It's red tape. Red tape for the league. All right, let's get to the quarterback news. We'll start off with the biggest quarterback news of the day, which is that the Seahawks agreed to terms with Sam Darnold, formerly of the Vikings. 3 years, $105 million. I think that price is right for him. I don't think he should be making over $40 million.
Right.
Baker Mayfield signed his deal, 2 years ago now? Mm-hmm. So, you're going to get a little bit of a bump from where Baker Mayfield was at. But Sam Darnold should be in that Baker Mayfield range, not in, the 40 to 45 million range. I think the money's right. Now we'll see if the Seahawks actually upgraded over Geno Smith, who they traded to the Raiders.
Can I ask a question, you guys? The gridiron guys here?
Sure. I don't know if you can call us that.
What?
Gridiron guys.
Yeah.
I mean, next episode will be out at some point.
New podcast coming out probably in 2 weeks.
Yeah, ish.
That's news to me.
You had Geno Smith. You traded him. Don't know why. And now you've got Sam Darnold. Mm-hmm. What are the Seahawks doing? Is Sam Darnold viewed as better than Geno Smith?
They must view him as better, and he's younger.
Younger, I know.
Yeah. They must view that.
Okay.
And you obviously DK Metcalf was traded to Carey's Steelers.
Hey, what are the Seahawks doing?
They released Tyler Lockett, so they're going with
a reset.
Yeah, they're having a reset.
They're going to bring in Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
they're going to bring in Sam Darnold, who had a very good year by all accounts last year.
He's excellent.
Stumbled his last couple of games, but whatever. But you're going to give him nothing to work with.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, they still got.
All right, so he's back to the Jets.
Jackson Smith and Jigba is good.
He's
guy.
fine. He's fine.
Yeah.
If you only have one threat, Carey, who's going to be doubled most of the game?
Well, he will. They probably have to do something in free agency or in the draft. Kenneth Walker, when healthy, has been a really good running back. So I think they got some pieces there. I think they did upgrade from Geno Smith. Geno, had a hell of a comeback story. Like he did a fantastic job of, re-energizing, revitalizing his career. I think Sam Darnold is an upgrade from what you've seen from Geno Smith. So I think that's the reason they're going in that direction. I don't remember what they were paying Geno Smith, but he signed a new contract a couple of years ago, which I think was in the $20-25 million range. So you got an upgrade. You're paying, $8 to $10 million more for a quarterback that is probably better, but you're also not at that upper echelon of what you have to pay these quarterbacks nowadays. So I think that's a good deal. The DK Metcalf trade, I'm happy he's in Pittsburgh. I hope we find someone to throw him the football.
Right.
That's the next step. But the Seahawks getting rid of him, he wanted to be traded. He felt like it was time to move on. And I think McDonald is kind of setting his culture for how he wants it. It'll be his second year as the head coach there, kind of setting his culture how he wants it to be. So I don't think Seattle is doing anything wrong in what they're trying to do.
I think if anything, and again, we're just reviewing this now, not 7 weeks into the season, but if anything, I think the Seahawks, this is a lateral to slightly above average move, a plus for them. I think the Raiders did really well, given the fact that they didn't know if they were going to be in position to draft either Cam Ward or Shadur Sanders. Who are you going to? You could have gotten Sam Darnold, but clearly he wanted to be in Seattle, or else he's not signing that deal. Who else? You're going to roll the dice with Russell Wilson? No, you're going to roll the dice because Pete Carroll's there. I don't think Pete let him go once. I think he's good with.
Sometimes, Anthony, when you let somebody go, you realize how much you want them back.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be the case with Pete Carroll.
I think it's real love.
I think the Raiders did pretty well.
Yeah.
Given the circumstances surrounding it, like they'll need a young quarterback at some point, but they at least bought themselves a little time with Geno Smith.
They needed a stopgap there in Las Vegas. Like they need something. I mean, that team is just not good. Mm-hmm. Now they need, at least Geno Smith is that guy. He's reliable.
Yeah,
he'll be fine. We can build up around him, and then when we really want our quarterback, we'll get him.
Yeah.
And if you're the Raiders, you're probably hoping that one of those quarterbacks, probably Shadur, is still available. I think they draft number 7 this year. You're hoping. I mean, I've seen reports that Shedeur falls all the way to Pittsburgh or lower than Pittsburgh in the 20s, mid to late 20s.
I'm not buying it, but I've seen the
seen
same
those mock drafts as well.
Getting out of the top 5.
I don't see him get him out of the top 10.
But it's
I think
possible.
he'd go to Saints at number 9, quite frankly. Marsh brought that up last week.
Maybe because he's been so vocal about places he doesn't want to go.
Maybe. Yeah.
People are like, okay, screw him.
Maybe they all say that. Maybe he says, I don't want to go anywhere but Pittsburgh.
Oh, God.
Okay.
How do you feel? Speaking of Pittsburgh, how do you feel about Aaron Rodgers potentially
not
going
great.
to Pittsburgh?
I cannot.
Justin Fields is on to New York. He didn't want to wait around. I guess he was waiting on solid commitment from the Steelers that he would be their starting quarterback. They were unwilling
last year.
Exactly. They were unwilling to give him that commitment, so he signed with the Jets for 2 years, $40 million.
He won games. They benched him.
Yeah. It didn't look great though. And you still got Russell Wilson still in contact and talks with Pittsburgh. I don't know, man. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I want to feel
it's the worst place to be in.
I want to feel good. I feel so good about DK Metcalf getting traded there and signing a new deal. He's going to be there. You got George Pickens. You got a 1A and 1B. I don't know who's throwing the ball.
You know it doesn't matter if they don't have a QB.
Yeah.
Carey,
yes, sir.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Jimmy.
I don't know Mike Tomlin as well as you know Mike Tomlin. However, I have a perception of Mike Tomlin. And my perception is that I can't imagine him and Aaron Rodgers being in the same room for more than a week.
So this is the thing about Mike T that I do know. He's the damn head coach, and you're the player.
What's he going to do when Ayahuasca Boy does whatever the hell he wants?
That's the thing, he won't. Because we said the same thing about Russell Wilson. We said, well, Russell is Russell. He's going to do this, and he's going to have these taglines. Russell minded his damn business. He played football. You didn't hear any of the quirky quotes from him. He just said, I'm here to play football. That's the mindset, and that's generally the culture what Mike Tomlin brings. Like, honestly, he does not give a damn about what you have to say. Like, he doesn't care. He doesn't. You can have. I don't give a damn, man. You gonna play football or not? And that's how he'll talk. Are you gonna be good at football? Because that's what we need. I don't need you to be good at press conferences. I don't need you to be good at the dark room or ayahuasca. I don't need you to be good with podcast. I need you to be a damn good football player. Can you be that? If you can be that, you can be here. If you can't, then go on about your business.
Hey, I'm fine.
So that's what I do know.
To me, I think it's literally like a landmine. You don't know where it is out there, but when you step on it, it's going to go. Yeah. And I think, like, the first couple of weeks, everybody plays nice and everything's fine. Like, look at Rodgers in New York. Everything was awesome. Everybody loves, hugs, chest bumps, woo. And then all of a sudden, he had the coach fired.
See, what Robert Saleh and Mike T is not going to try to be your friend. I think Robert Saleh wanted to get on it. He does not give a damn about your friendship as a player. Can you play? Can you help us win games, win championships? If that's what you're capable of. And it's not saying he's a bad person. It's not like it's all business and no fun. But it is.
No, I understand.
Business is first. And if we don't take care of the business, we ain't having no damn fun. So if he does go there, if Aaron Rodgers falls to the Pittsburgh Steelers, hopefully I get a version of Aaron Rodgers that can throw the football.
And maybe move a little bit.
Yeah, but just a little bit.
Last year was tough.
They got to do something with that offensive line, too.
That was tough.
Hey, you got DK Metcalf, though.
It's not great. Chicago Bears are doing the right thing.
I like what the Bears have done, and I like what the Buccaneers have done. They bring back Chris Godwin. Smart. They add Hassan Reddick.
Yeah.
That division is theirs to lose, and it has been over the last 3 seasons now.
For a while.
I like what they're doing. I really like what the Bears are doing. They added Drew Dahlman.
They
continue to upgrade the offensive line. So Drew Dahlman was the best center. Why would they continue to
upgrade the offensive line?
Well, see, it starts up front, Jamie. A lot of teams that don't know what they're doing, they just go ahead and continue to add the wide receivers, thinking, hey, if we get enough, you can't cover them all. There's one football. And if your quarterback's on his ass, doesn't matter.
This Ben Johnson might know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Seems like it.
And they added Grady Jarrett, who was released by the Falcons today. Grady, one of the better and only Falcons pass rushers. They don't need him there in Atlanta. They say, not up in here.
It's not the right Falcon you were hoping for, was it?
Let's draft another unicorn at tight end. That's not really a tight end or a wide receiver. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Jeremy Rutherford will join us next. We'll talk to him about our Blues and a very successful weekend, all things considered. That's next on 101 ESPN.
We all love betting on sports, at least most of us do. It's a little fun. Have some fun with your buddies. Throw some things out there on the old app. Well, how about the Circus Sports Illinois app? They are bringing you the best odds. Out of any app that's out there, they give you the best odds. If you don't believe me, it's just fine. Go download other apps. Go find out what their odds are. Then go check out Circus Sports Illinois. You'll see that they have the best odds. They also have great lines for all of their futures bets. And you get that old school Vegas feel when you're using the Circus Sports app. And that's what Derek Stevens, the owner of Circus Sports, wanted. One, he wanted to create the world's largest sports book. He did. That's Circa Sports in Las Vegas. It's awesome. If you have a chance, go check it out. You will love it. But the next best thing is the app, and it's in the palm of your hands, and it lets you navigate all of the sports bets that are out there, whether it's teams, players, the prop bets, the parlays, all of that stuff available on the Circa Sports app. They've also got exceptional customer service where you'll talk to a real person when you reach out, not an automated response or a chatbot. So please don't miss out on the action. Download a Bet Like a Pro with your Circa Sports Illinois app today and join in on all the excitement. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGMB to 833-234.
It's time for the Rutherford Report on 101 ESPN.
Anything you folks want to know about the fascinating world of pro hockey? Here we go.
.302, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Yes, CD? Oh.
I was going to ask JR a question. I was going to let you finish, but I just wanted to have the first question.
Well, usually when you put your hand up, we stop everything and say, Carey's got a question.
He knows, he does a great job of bringing us in. I was just letting him know, hey, when you get done, that's what we always do, is it not?
Well, no.
Yeah, but that could also mean I've got something before we get to JR.
Whenever you raise your hand, Anthony's going to stop. We talked about like dogs, right?
I know.
He's trained like a dog.
Trained, man.
I should have waited till you. Go ahead and introduce
I've been
our
driving now for 13 years.
Yeah.
So
have I ever stopped you mid conversation when you
That's what I thought. Yeah, I'm like, he's got something really important.
I do have something really important with JR.
Well, Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues Insider with The Athletic, he now joins us via the Calgary and Thompson phone line. Apparently, Carey's got something to ask.
I have the question that I think everyone wants to know. Last week you were on, and you got a promise from one Jamie Rivers to rollerblade on the beach down on Malibu and get tattoos. Did it happen?
He told me the wrong beach, Carey. He told me
Not true.
Jamie
Not true. JR stayed more like downtown L.A., so his rollerblading was, through the streets.
Oh, well, good luck with that. Yeah. All right, that's all I wanted.
Hey, this is great. This is great to be on the Carey Davis show, guys.
I appreciate it.
You know what? It's wild because that's what he wanted to change it to, JR.
Yep.
The moment he came on here.
I was like, you know what? Fast Lane sounds great and all, right? But the Carey Davis show just pops a little bit more.
Sure does.
And they obviously shot it down.
Guys.
By the way,
I honestly thought that Carey was going to ask me about going to see his boy LeBron while I was out there.
Oh, did you make it to the game?
Yeah, it was great. I didn't look at the schedule. I didn't know. I was staying, like Jamie said, downtown. So I looked at the Lakers schedule, 6 o'clock, and it said Lakers at 7:30. And that was the night LeBron was going for 50,000.
Wow.
So kind of cool to be in the building for that and see him and Luka. And gosh, guys, I'm not a basketball guy. I don't know what I'm watching, but Luka Doncic is unbelievable.
JR, how was courtside?
I think it was. I think I went to Tick Pick, and it was. I did say Tick Pick.
Okay,
we all looked at each other like, wait a minute.
Hit the dump button, Marshy.
Hit the dump button. It was about $600 for the 11th row, so I did the old Bob Uecker, so I went to the last row for $120.
Now, did you try and sneak down at any point to an open seat that you scouted in the first quarter?
Just too noticeable, 3 bills coming down the aisle. So I didn't think I'd get past the usher.
Well, JR, you also covered the Blues over the weekend, and one of the things that you wrote about yesterday was that the Blues winning culture is back, and one of the quotes that you had was from Braden Shen saying that the culture, they haven't had this feeling over the last couple of years. So can you, for those that haven't had an opportunity to check out your article yet at The Athletic, can you detail some of the things that were discussed in it?
Yeah. And you know what? I'll give you the setting here, too. So this was after the Anaheim win, and this is also a few hours after the trade deadline. And what I like about that quote from Braden Shen is it was kind of unsolicited. So, we're talking to him about the trade deadline and nothing happened. And did you waive your no trade clause? Did you get asked to? And just a lot of things about the team playing well. And then he voluntarily says, and I think you guys have played the soundbite or have it, where he says, we just feel like that winning culture's back that we haven't had in a few years. And I felt that. I'm sure Riv can feel it being around the team. I tweeted today, guys, that we do that player poll at The Athletic where we go around and ask 10 questions of these players, and they kind of give each other the gears. And I haven't done that poll in a couple of years because the vibe in the room just wasn't great. So I did it last month, and guys were having fun with it. They're teasing each other, ragging each other. They want to hear what the other guy said. You could kind of feel that chemistry and that camaraderie. So when Braden Shen kind of volunteered that, that's exactly what I feel about this locker room, too.
So, JR, I haven't talked to you. I may have talked to you, but not here on the show since, it's been a while. But the trade deadline, in digging around and poking and prodding, what did you uncover regarding the Blues, whether it was from other teams talking about the Blues or anybody in the Blues organization, about what went on? How serious were they about a trade? Did they ever have to ask Braden Shen if he'd waive his no trade? What are some of the things that maybe we don't know?
Right. So to try to take you in there, and again, we're on the outside a little bit, but you do talk to some people and you do see some things. The one thing that I did see, and I had it in my article a couple days ago, Riv, is Jim Montgomery, the head coach. This is before the Anaheim game. So again, a couple hours after the trade deadline, he crossed paths with Braden Shen just outside the locker room, and there was an embrace, kind of a handshake. And Jim Montgomery said, "Glad to still have you here." And Braden Shen said, "Thanks." So you have to believe that there was something to it, whether a trade was acknowledged, whether a no trade, whether waiving the no trade, any of that is acknowledged. There was something there. Now, I know that a lot of people have said there was a trade in place with Toronto, and he for sure used his no trade clause to stop it. If that did happen, I'm not aware of it. I know Bob McKenzie said something about it on TSN. I checked in on that with with Bob and with Chris Johnston up at TNT or at TSN, and they said that that's not true. He did not report that. He said if Braden Shen was possibly coming to Toronto, maybe he decided he wanted to stay in St. Louis. So in terms of ask to waive his no trade, I don't have information on that and talking to people, around the organization. So in terms of the Roddick Foxes and the Ryan Suters of the world, I think it was a situation of Doug Armstrong knew that he wasn't going to get higher than a 4th-round pick, and at that point he decided to keep these guys and see what they can do down the stretch with this team and stay in this playoff race.
JR, looking at your article, you had a quote from Jim Montgomery saying they're playing real selfless hockey. It's really fun to watch. Do you feel like, and not that it matters who gets the credit, but is this player-driven or is it coach-driven? How did this team make this shift in the manner in which they have?
Yeah, I think because it's the same players from the start of the season, and you go back to the past couple of years with some of these guys, that you have to give the credit to first and foremost the players because they did it. But Jim Montgomery has a huge hand in this, and he's a guy that you just like to be around. The positive energy, I think that's created some of this. But guys, let's give these players credit because so many times I come on the air with you guys and other shows and we're critical of this or, cracking jokes that they thought they're a playoff team and they're not a playoff team and where are they going to go from here? And this team, whether they needed the break, the reset, get healthy, whatever it took, they came together. And now you see it. Like, look at these 23 block shots in that LA game. I did the breakdown of the roster, 14 out of 18 players with a block shot. Ever since they came back from the break, they're up about 2 or 3 block shots per game. Jamie knows that's the ultimate picture of sacrifice when a team's together and playing for each other. And then, Jamie's down there, way closer to the bench than I am, and he can hear the guys hooting and hollering when the guys are blocking the shots during the game. So, to me, I think you have to give this Blues team a lot of credit. I know that's what they get paid to do. People are going to say they should have been doing this at the beginning of the season. I get it. That's all true. But at the same time, it's still hard to do, and they're doing it right now, and they need to be respected for that.
Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues insider with The Athletic, joining us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. So the Blues right now sitting tied with Vancouver with 69 points. Calgary still sits 1 point ahead of them with 70. You've seen Calgary, JR. You've seen Vancouver. What do you give the chances that the Blues do sneak in and they are the second wild card?
Well, I think that the Blues are heavy in this conversation. I think that they have a good chance, even though these teams, Calgary and Vancouver, have the 2 games in hand and they're 1 point behind the Flames and they're tied with Vancouver right now. I just looked at the strength of schedule before I came on with you guys. Vancouver, 10th hardest strength of schedule the rest of the way. Calgary, 15, Utah, 17, and the Blues, 32. The Blues have the easiest schedule the rest of the season. Now, that doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean you're going to make the playoffs. I just think that the Blues are just as good as these teams that we're talking about. And I think when you factor in the strength of schedule and the road that the Blues have, like, look at their next couple of weeks. You got Pittsburgh, you got a struggling Minnesota team, you got Nashville a couple times, you got Chicago. So I think that with the way the Blues are playing, and first and foremost that they're playing for each other, I think that bodes well. And then I think when you look at the schedule, I'd give this team a real good chance to make it.
JR, how bad was we heard that it's a 6-week injury. He'll be reevaluated in 6 weeks. But do you think that there's a quicker timeline? They said the same thing for Robert Thomas and Broberg with Colton Parayko. Do you think there's a possibility that it could be quicker than 6 weeks?
Yeah, different player, different injury, but based on what we've seen with not just Robert Thomas, but several of these injuries, it just seems like they come back sooner. Sometimes I feel like the Blues sometimes they put that timeline out there, and yeah, it's probably what they've seen, in their history with those injuries, so they give out that timetable. But for whatever reason, these Blues players have come back and played a little bit earlier. So as far as I know, Carey, all we can do is go by that 6-week timetable and reevaluate it. But that takes Colton through the end of the regular season, which, hey, if the Blues are continuing to play the way they have, that might be good. He's a guy that logs a lot of minutes, and you need him if you're going to get into playoffs. And so we'll see. But for now, it just looks like the 6 weeks.
JR, we appreciate you. We love the fact that you had an opportunity to not only be courtside to a Laker game, but also get your tattoo with Jamie.
Awesome.
Yeah. Maybe next time he'll tell me the right beat.
You said the opposite. JR, we appreciate you. Great work, and we'll check back next week.
Yep, sounds good, guys. Thanks.
All right. Jamie Rutherford, at JP Rutherford on Twitter, if you want to give him a follow on Twitter, if you haven't already done so. So the Yankees are once again losing pitchers. They're dropping like flies. Garrett Cole has been recommended for Tommy John surgery after he had elbow problems. Boys, it's time to hype up the pitchers that the Cardinals currently have. Maybe Cardinals can take advantage of this. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Anthony, getting old kind of sucks sometimes.
Yes, sir, it does.
The bones are hurting, and maybe the hair is gray and whatnot. And, another thing, your testosterone starts to go.
What?
Yeah, and it happens different times for different guys, 30, 40, 50. There's no, exact timeline, but I can tell you that it stinks. And that's why we went into Mentality and talked to their board-certified physicians. And by the time everything was said and done, they had a program that was specific to both of us. And things have changed. More energy. I get up, work out. I go do. If I wasn't able to go to Mentality, I don't know if I could do everything that I do, and that's all thanks to Mentality.
I know I could, man. I got 3 kids that are 8 and younger, and I would have felt. I'll tell you when I really feel Mentality and the effects when I didn't. When I wasn't on Mentality's program, and you have, hey, drop this kid off at this practice. Actually coach this practice and go home and do stuff around the house. It's like, nah, forget this. I don't want to do it. I'll find excuses not to do it. Yesterday and over the weekend, different story. I love it now. I love it. I love the fact that I've got the energy to do so. I know you feel the same way, Jamie. It's not just inside the gym. It's everyday life. I'm not irritable. I'm not riding the roller coaster constantly of emotions. It's all things that get impacted because of low testosterone. There's not much you can do about it unless you want to go see our fine folks at Mentality. They're great. LowTUSA.com is where you can check them out online. When you do head to one of their 2 locations, Chesterfield or South County, tell them Jamie and Anthony sent you in. It's Mentality.
Flying down to Florida for a spring training report on 101 ESPN. Our Redbird Spring Training Report is brought to you by Rawlings. Visit the all-new Rawlings experience at Westport Plaza today.
Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. So the Yankees not only have lost Luis Gil, earlier in this spring training, but they also could lose Garrett Cole. So Garrett Cole was experiencing some elbow issues, and he saw a doctor, and the doctor said, No more monkeys jumping on the bed. Doctor said,
My goodness.
You're going to need Tommy John. It was recommended to Garrett Cole that he get Tommy John. So while the Yankees did sign Max Fried and they still have Carlos Rodon, I think that they could benefit from adding the veteran services of not only Eric Fetty, but Miles Michaelis as well. You can't get two guys that are more gamers and that would love to be in pinstripes than Eric Fetty and Miles Michaelis. I think that should be the route the Yankees go. They're a World Series contender. Cardinals got some pitching. I think you got to make the call.
So,
right, Jamie?
It's a sales pitch,
right,
huh?
Carey?
I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if the Yankees want that to happen. And then,
What's that now?
Yeah, I don't know if the Yankees want that to happen.
They need pitching. We got pitching.
We have pitchers.
We're loaded with pitching.
We have pitchers.
Here
We do.
in St. Louis.
But I sent you all an article over the weekend where it was talking about Andre Pallante potentially not being in the starting rotation, which kind of is a bummer, right? Then I sent you a text message over the weekend about Andre Pallante looked like he was serving up batting practice. In the first
I
couple
thought
of
that was a little rough.
No, it was to watch. I was like, geez, Chisholm hit a ball. I don't know where it landed.
Maybe he was confused
About?
that it might have been batting practice.
Maybe. He was playing against another team, and I think it was a game setting, so I don't think it should have been confusing.
All right.
Don't know. But if Andre Pallante is struggling, and then you, Sir Anthony, wonderful gentleman that you are,
thank you,
would like to trade away Eric Fetty, I don't know if Steven Matz or Miles Michaelis is even really an option, but you kind of dwindling down your starting rotation at that point.
Well, we're going for a youth movement here, and we can put some of the young guys in the starting rotation.
All right, question.
Yeah.
If said youth movement was truly what the plan was, did you need to trade those people away? Couldn't you have just said, you know what, have a great day? Appreciate your service?
I think they were waiting on a opportunity to present itself. And guess what?
It has presented
Opportunity is knocking now. Yankees need pitchers. We've got pitchers. Bear says, why would they want AAA level pitching? Bear, shut your mouth and let me do my thing.
You're a great salesman.
Thank you.
I don't know if this is...
Did you not see Eric Fetty pitch last year for the Chicago White Sox?
I did.
One of the better pitchers in ever.
You said the White Sox.
Yes, sir.
He was a Cardinal, too.
Well, yeah, he was here. He was so good with the White Sox, it's not even funny. Did you see Miles Michaelis every other month 2 years ago? Guy was unhittable.
It's been a while. Anthony?
Yes?
It's been a while.
It's so good.
He's a great
It's
salesman.
so good.
His sales pitch is phenomenal.
Oh, but listen to it truly. It's so good.
You would sit back and really take a look, see, you're like, you know what?
No, dude. Every other month 2 years ago.
Every other month 2 years ago,
It's an absolute
Miles
crab
Michaelis
sandwich.
was a Cy Young contender.
Yeah. What about last year? Or the year before? 20...
everybody goes through ups and downs in life. It's about how you respond. And Miles Michaelis is ready to respond with that every other month in 2023 performance in 2025. Let's go. Do I need to call the Yankees? Do I need to call Brian Cashman? I'll get on the phone.
Are the Yankees even answering their phone?
Probably not from the Cardinals.
So Mike Rodriguez, who's an MLB insider, he says, according to my sources, Brian Cashman might consider pursuing Eric Fetty, Dylan Cease, and Sandy Alcantara. Additionally, he could explore the possibility of reuniting Sonny Gray or Michael King. However, Aaron Judge has expressed a strong interest in Sandy Alcantara. That's from Mike Rodriguez at Mike Deportes.
Why go for Sandy Alcantara? Why go for Sandy Alcantara?
You can get a Cardinal.
Who is highly injured. I mean, this guy's injury prone. When you can have somebody as durable as Miles Michaels.
What about Sonny Gray? He mentioned Sonny Gray on that article that Marsh just...
We got other guys that we can give him.
Anthony?
Yeah.
I think you're outstanding. I think your plan, your plot, actually, is outstanding.
Okay.
For how you want to go about this.
Sure.
Teams generally want the better return. Like you send something away, you want the best version of what you're getting back.
Uh-huh.
So, not that Eric Fetty isn't good, because he was good. He's not as good as Sonny Gray. So how would you feel about that if Sonny Gray was the one to leave? Because you still, in fact, get your youth movement. You still get your younger pitchers opportunities. One spot gone, add another guy in, right? After next year, you got 3 guys off the roster that are potentially taking up starting rotation spots. Get those guys out of here. How do you feel now?
I think Eric Fetty's the one. If the Yankees want Eric Fetty, let's broker a deal.
I don't think he's listening, Jamie.
He's not listening at all.
Let's get a deal done.
His mind is made up.
Completely.
If you're the Yankees and you expect to contend again this year, and they expect to contend this year, you want somebody that's familiar with the American League. Where did Fetty pitch for half a year last year? That's right. Chicago. Not that Chicago, Marsh. The other Chicago.
The South Side Chicago.
Southsiders.
And I said last week, he wore pinstripes before. He would look good in pinstripes.
I think we get a deal done.
I mean, his name's being floated out there, right? So, obviously there's somewhat interest in Eric Fetty. To your point, CD, I understand where you're coming from. I just think that for the Cardinals, we talked about winning culture, right? I think you have to keep a Sonny Gray.
Sonny Gray wants to be here.
He wants to be here. And you need to win some games, right, this season. So, I'd keep Sonny Gray. And if Eric Fetty has to be dealt, then so be it.
It's a sacrifice we're willing to make to ensure that the Yankees continue to win.
I don't know if that's the benefit of it.
Yeah.
But I was thinking maybe so.
We get something in return too, obviously. I mean, the Yankees, we're not going to give him up for free. This guy was outstanding last year for the White Sox. So we get something in return.
Yeah.
He plays for the Cardinals now, Anthony.
We get some prospects, Carey. We're in a spot where we're going to take on said prospects, and we open up a spot for one of these young guys, one of these young guns.
I think it's a great idea.
Thank you.
I think it's a great idea.
It'd be nice if all of us could get on board.
Well, you can't convince everybody of anything these days.
Very true. You're right. Very true. All right. Well, we'll keep you updated on what that Yankee-Cardinal trade will look like once it's completed.
I don't think he's going to happen.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Why don't we do advice with former athletes next? We've got Carey Davis. We've got Jamie Rivers. So if you've got a question for our guys, we're going to do advice with former athletes. Just send in that question. Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. We'll do that next in the Fastlane.
Selling your home can be a very stressful thing, especially if you haven't had your house on the market recent years or recent time. You may not understand where the market is trending to or what the price should be for your home. Take that off of your plate. Call Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty. She's the best in the business. She understands all of those things. She'll go see your home. She recognizes the neighborhood. She'll pull up all the comps of what other people sold their houses for. Then she'll sit down with you, and you guys will figure out the list price. And then Gloria Lou is going to get to work of selling your home. And she has an advantage to selling your home because she has a database with thousands of buyers that are ready, willing, and able to purchase your home. That drives traffic right to your listing, and that helps get your home sold fast and for the most money. And that's what Gloria Lou's going to do. So please, without hesitation, give her a call. Tell her Jamie Rivers sent you in. Her number is 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or you can always visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues over the weekend get 3 out of a possible 4 points. They defeat the Anaheim Ducks 4-3 and then lose to the LA Kings in overtime by a final score of 2-1. They'll take on the Pittsburgh Penguins on Thursday, and you can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 5 o'clock. Puck drop is at 6. We just talked with Jeremy Rutherford. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. A big win for City SC over the weekend, 3-0. Their first 2 matches, they played to a draw, 0-0 in both contests, but they pick up a 3-0 victory over the defending champs in the LA Galaxy. They'll take on Seattle this upcoming Saturday. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Give me some advice, quick.
Time for advice for former athletes. If you have ever wanted to ask a Super Bowl champion like Carey Davis or a longtime NHL veteran like Jamie Rivers a question, now's your chance. 314-399-9646 is the Air Carmen Service text line. Andrew Marsh has those questions for Jamie and Carey.
All right, let's start with the 816. I don't personally like people on my team. How do I make amends to be a good teammate without association with people I don't mesh with?
Are you the bad teammate, maybe?
Man.
I'm just asking. Read it again. I don't
personally like people on my team. How do I make amends to be a good teammate without association with people I don't mesh with?
Wow.
So, yeah, it's hard for me to figure this one out.
He was honest.
Whether, I would say, and Carey, this is an interesting question. I would say you show up and do your job to the best of your ability every single time. And you have to be a great teammate while you're playing whatever it is, whatever sport that you're into, whether it's football, baseball, hockey. While you're at the rink or the field, be an unbelievable teammate from the standpoint that you're doing your job and you're making sure that you're helping the team. After that, you want to go home, do your own thing. You want to go have a beer all by yourself. It's fine.
Right.
Like, your teammates won't care about that. They'll just think, hey, he's a bit of a loner, or he's a little shy, or whatever. They won't assume that, that you don't like them or vice versa. That'd be my advice.
Yeah, I think you sometimes you got to go through it. I mean, it's part of the job. If you are, you have teammates, people that you work with on a consistent basis, you're not really able to choose who you're paired up with at times or who your partner is, depending on the job. And so you have to find a way to kind of work through that. And then when your day is over, you don't have to necessarily be friends after work. I'm thinking it helps if you do know the people outside of work, but you don't have to be. But you're just going to have to kind of suck it up and go through it and realize that it's part of the job description to work together to get whatever the outcome is.
They call it a team.
Yeah.
Bazooka 275 said, was that Aaron Rodgers who texted in? Never know.
Could be.
This next one comes from Thanks Dad. I'm no former professional, so I understand that I can't know everything that goes on behind closed doors in a locker room or front office. How do you guys handle know-it-alls that don't actually know what the fast lane they're talking about?
I just let them go. Unless they're arguing with me a point, I tend to let them go. I've had people argue with me a point that I knew for a fact was incorrect. And I mean, on these airwaves, I just like, dude, you're completely wrong, sir. This is years ago. But this gentleman argued me a point, and I was like, you're absolutely wrong. I know because it happened to me, but you go on. There's no winning. You can't win. You can't reason. And so when you know better, you don't bother. It's like, okay, if that's what you think, cool story, man.
Yeah, it happens a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Happens a lot to me, and it always you can see it brewing. Like, people are looking over. They got a couple more drinks in them. They're looking over, and all of a sudden they come over and they're like, "Oh, hey, Jamie, nice to meet you." And stuff. Why do the Blues do this? And you try to tell them, well, here's what's kind of going on, and
they cut you off.
No, I don't think you're right. Why did you ask my opinion? Why'd you ask me?
Right.
I gave you my opinion. If I asked a guitar player, somebody like Slash from Guns N' Roses, if I asked him, hey, man, how do you play that riff? And he's showing me, and I'm like, no, you got that wrong.
All wrong.
This is how you do it. Like, what?
Right.
So usually at that point, I just concede. I'm like, hey, guys, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Honestly, that's a pretty good take. Have a great night, guys.
Good call.
Yeah.
It's no point.
See you again down in the locker room.
Or not.
Nah,
You just walk away.
I choose to
let them.
you know what? If they had that opinion coming in, they really didn't want to know mine. They just wanted to voice theirs.
Right. To you specifically.
Yes.
From the 314 CD, who was the most prepared linebacker you played against? Also, since you're not scared of getting hit, which one hit you the hardest?
Most prepared linebacker. I mean, I talk about James Ferrier a lot. He was very, very intelligent. I think Ray Lewis was extremely well prepared. He understood that defense, the ins and outs of it, where to blitz from, where the defense was susceptible at. One of the hardest hits, I think we both kind of smoked each other. Brian Arakpro from he's
Washington.
Oh yeah, we kind of pow. And I know I gave it to him because they were like tapping me on the head like, good hit, guy. I was like, I don't know where I'm at.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was it good?
Where are we?
He's like, you smoked him. I was like, did I? Because I feel like he smoked me too, baby. Okay. If you say so, I believe you. Whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Brian Arakpo. Where did he go to college?
Texas.
Texas, that's right. Yeah, good call.
From the 314, as longtime athletes, how was retiring on your psyche since being an athlete was your main identity?
Oh.
But not good. I'm not going to lie. I've been a pretty open book.
I watched the movie the other day.
Yeah.
And it was the beginning of the movie. It was like a war veteran. He was talking about, you're in Publix, and it was, I forget the name of it. You're in Publix, and next thing you know, you're choking a guy out, and you don't even realize why you did it. And I thought about old Jamie Rivers, huh? Sometimes you just move, because he wouldn't move his cart fast enough. Like, yeah.
Start clipping people's heels.
Yeah.
See what you're going to do about it.
Go ahead, because it was not good.
Yeah.
It was tough.
It's kind of concerning, to be honest.
Yeah,
Better move my cart faster.
Time heals most things. I'll tell you what, being busy heals a lot of things too. And great friends and great support system around you help. And I am not in any way going to compare sports to the military at all. Now, I have talked to military people, the Blues Warriors team. We skate with those guys, do events. Those guys are unbelievable for all that they do. But you talk to them, and you go through similar behaviors when you retire, because as a hockey player, that's all I ever did. I had a gas station job but hockey was it. So your whole life, you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. You have a schedule to adhere to. There's coaches. There's all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, it's gone. And for me, I didn't have a college education because I went to the NHL. And so what do? You have no skills per se, and it's difficult. And every single day, you got to take out aggression. And I know that sounds weird, but when you play a physical sport, you start to crave the confrontation. You crave the physical altercation. You crave the hits, the blocking shot, the pain. You almost crave the pain. I know it's getting worse. I'm not helping here, but
Keep going.
But then it's gone. So then when you get frustrated in a daily situation, you can't just turn and smash a guy. You can't fight someone and then just 5 minutes later you're fine, shake hands, go have a beer.
Right.
You have to work within a company. Like here at Hubbard Radio, imagine if I was trying to go fight a teammate, or it doesn't make any sense.
I have seen Anthony get body checked into that wall down there.
It's happened. That was friendly fire.
Yeah.
So yeah, Carey, I'm long-winded on this one, but it was very difficult, and it took a lot of great people in my life, Tony Twist being one of them. Twister rescued me from a really dark place, gave me a purpose in life, helped me out. Todd Ewan, rest in peace, he also helped me out. He was the founder of the idea of Synergy Hockey, and he didn't tell me what to do. He just said, hey, dummy, you've got a PhD in hockey, figure out how to use it. And now I've parlayed that into using my PhD in hockey to talk about the Blues on the radio, to talk about the Blues games on TV. So, yeah, it's not easy. It takes good friends.
Yeah, I agree. And I was going to say, with the military aspect of it, there are a lot of similarities. Obviously, you draw the line where you have to go to war and put your life at danger and risk. Like, what those men and women do is nowhere near in comparison to what we do. But the way that it's set up, the schedule, the timing, the breakdown, how it's blocked out for day to day, all of those things, what I was taught was it came from the military. When I looked at our schedule, it was exactly the same as a military schedule in terms of how it's blocked and what group is doing what with whom. It's the same thing. So that aspect of it is the same. But the part where you're talking about, Jamie, I completely agree. For me, retiring at 31 and no skills, I didn't know anything. And it sounds like you're 31 years old. How do you know? I didn't know how to get a doctor. Because from the time I was born to 18, my mother got my doctor. From 18 to 22, the University of Illinois got my doctor. From 22 to 31, whatever team I was on, that's the doctor I went to. I didn't have a doctor at 31. I didn't know primary care physician, PCP, what's that? I don't know what that is. I got to find a primary care physician. Okay.
You know something else.
I was like, I don't want that. I stay away from that. I heard about that.
Yeah.
Learn about drug use and abuse. No, say no. But those simple tasks as that. And then, as you said, Jamie, your whole, you get to hit people for a living and nobody sues you. Like, you don't go to jail. Like, I had a bad day.
In fact,
they
praise
pay you. They say, good damn job. Do it again. And I get to go smoke somebody because I'm pissed off. You pissed me off. You just did that. Okay. I'll see you in 2 minutes. I'm going to run my body into yours as hard, and I hope I knock you out. I hope I harm you, because you, sir, just pissed me the hell off. And in real life, when I get cut off on the road, this man cut me off. I didn't know it was him.
That was friendly fire, too.
I didn't know it was him. I'm ready to get out the car. Like, hey, I know he's lost his damn mind. He's smiling at me. So, yeah, it is a difference. You are unable to, and you have to learn you have to readjust.
Yeah, you have to learn how to deal with people.
Yes.
Because we're like savages. In the locker room, you talk a certain way to your teammates. On the ice, on the field, you talk a certain way to the opposition. You say things that you shouldn't say, but you say them because you should say them in that moment. Then you have a conflict in the office. It's not even a conflict. It's a disagreement of opinion.
Right.
And you can't go down dark lane and just verbally slice this person apart.
Right.
HR on line 1. Again.
What'd I do wrong?
Yeah, Chauncey on the text line says that as a combat vet, he agrees 1,000%.
Yes.
So appreciate that, and thank you for your service, Chauncey.
G-Dog says, I still don't know how to find a doctor.
Yeah.
Chester, again from the Snake Pit, goes, okay, now I don't want to mess with CD anymore. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Thanks for the great questions to advice to former athletes. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We do have the Gauntlet coming up in 15 minutes. Do we need a new Gauntlet?
We have a new contestant, Chris, who's been waiting in the wings.
Oh, that's right. I won in random. That's right. Yeah. My revenge.
By the way, I was listening. Ashley and I were listening that day. What was the golf answer?
VJ Singh.
VJ Singh since Tiger Woods, that one? Other than Tiger Woods?
Yeah.
Okay. We're sitting there getting ready to go, and she starts blow drying her hair. Oh. and you guys get the answer. I run into the bathroom. I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, I'm trying my hair. I'm just trying to hear the answer. I'm like, I'll never know.
You could have texted us.
That's the worst. Somebody calls you right in the middle. God, what do you want?
She was like, okay.
All right.
I said, no, can you wait? Blow dry your hair after. I don't know who you won yet.
Try to listen to the Gauntlet. So do we have somebody lined up, though, Marsh?
Yeah, we have Chris V, who, like I said, he's been waiting in the wings.
Oh, sorry. Okay, Chris V. All right. Why don't we get to our Around the Diamond segment? And actually, we're going to talk about a Cardinals player that CD mentioned a segment or so ago. That's next on 101 ESPN. Missouri sports fans, got great news for you. Underdog Fantasy is in our state. So if you're looking to play Underdog Fantasy, you can bring the excitement to anything that you watch, whether it's the NBA, NHL, NCAA tournament. They've got college basketball at Underdog Fantasy. You can choose players to go higher or lower on certain stats like three-pointers made, points, rebounds, and more. If you love hockey, you can check out a Blues game and take a couple of players from that Blues game. Maybe you like higher or lower on points or goals scored. It's a fun way to add excitement to the game. Millions of fans have won over billions on Underdog. You could be next, and you can join in on the fun just by signing up. to Underdog today by downloading the Underdog Fantasy app. Use my promo code Anthony, and you get a free selection as part of your first entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Again, just use the promo code Anthony, and you'll get a free selection as part of your first cash entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit at Underdog. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Let's go around the diamond with your St. Louis Cardinals.
All right, our Around the Diamond feature stops at Andre Pallante, who Carey was talking crap about just a couple of segments ago. Carey, do you want to reiterate what you were saying about Andre Pallante after I was trying to make this team better by trading a couple of guys to the Yankees?
Well, I was actually saying that there was an article written by, I think it was Josh Jones, who said that Pallante may be on the outside looking in terms of the starting rotation, which would be an issue. And after the performance that we saw on, was it Saturday or Sunday? He wasn't great. You know, didn't have a great performance. Gave up a few hits, few home runs. Those things were smoked. He gave up 8 hits. 4 innings pitched, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 of those via home run. Well, 4 of those via home run because they were both 2-run shots. Mm-hmm. And they just, he was leaving pitches over the heart of the plate. I know he pitched very well last year, but I guess the question is if. And then in the article that Josh Jones wrote, he said that Katie Wu also reported had an article where she said, obviously Fetty and Gray are solid for the rotation. Matz and Michaelis more than likely in. And then there's a question between, is it Andre Pallante or McGreevy?
Mm-hmm.
So he could potentially be on the outside looking in. I don't know. I think he didn't help his case over the weekend with the performance.
One game make a season?
It does not. But one game, if you are performing or if you're on the outside looking in, or if you're on the kind of the cusp of the decision-making process, yeah, every game matters.
So what he was able to do last year for a flailing rotation, that goes nowhere?
I think it goes somewhere. I don't make the rules, Jamie.
I know. And my snarkiness isn't really directed at you, even though I'm using you as the vehicle.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
My snarkiness is overall.
Okay.
Like, Andre Pallante has done nothing except everything you've asked him to do from the moment he's been a Cardinal.
Very true.
He was your bullpen guy. Then he was a closer. Then he was a starter. Then you sent him to the minors. Then he came back and he did everything screwy with this guy. And all he did last year is come in and consistently pitch good. Not great, not fit, but good. Like, you knew that every 5 days you got ground ball pitcher who more often than not gets through 5 innings, maybe 6 even. Because Ollie used to leave him in longer. Remember, I gave it to Ollie. Oh, you don't care about Pallante?
Yeah.
Because he'd leave him in because past the threshold.
Right.
But I don't see how he could be on the outside looking in, based on the fact that he was way more consistent than Michaelis, than Matz, than like so many guys last year.
So I want to ask you all this, because I do believe that this is true, and I think it goes for most sports. There are guys that no matter what they do in spring training or training camp, they're on the team, right? And then there are guys that, younger guys usually, or older guys that have to make the team. I don't know if Andre Pallante is in a situation where you just automatically say he's on the roster come opening day.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Which means he has to perform well. I'm looking at...
You want the appearance of that anyways.
Correct. He's pitched 8 innings. He's at a 9.9 ERA.
His velo was down 2 on his sinker.
14 hits allowed. Like, he's giving up a lot of hits, and he's giving up a lot of runs. And I think that if you're Andre Pallante, this is the worst case scenario for you. I think you needed to come in and be dominant, lights out, and not give anybody a reason to say, yep, we can't trust him in the rotation, because you haven't shown enough throughout your entire career. Now, if this was Sonny
you don't
Gray,
have a contract.
There you go. If it was Sonny Gray,
does, but
Eric Fetty, you're like, it's spring training. Nah, he'll be right. Because those are veteran pitchers. There are veteran players that have done it and been through the fire. This is a younger player that hasn't had as many opportunities as those older guys. So you have to come into training camp, spring training, ready to roll and have success.
Yeah, and let's be honest about this too. The Cardinals don't have the balls to cut Miles Michaelis. The contract's going to be in there. They don't have the huevos rancheros to put Steven Matz into the pen or DFA him either. So like the contract has to come into play as well.
Yeah.
Fetty, they need to pitch so they can trade him. So that leaves to. Did I say that out loud?
No, you're fine.
So that leaves Pallante. If they do want to get, McGreevy into the starting rotation, that does mean that Pallante could open up that door, even though he was one of the best pitchers for the Cardinals last season and one of the most reliable.
We got a text from Thanks Dad. Thanks Dad, always providing good content here for the Fast Lane. He typed in Pallante translation on the old Google machine, and it says Pallante is an Italian surname that comes from the Latin name Pallas. Pallas was the name of a character in Roman mythology. It may have come from the Greek word Pallas. Maybe I'm saying that right, which means youth. And Thanks Dad says Pallante, by definition, means youth. He is the youth movement. Is this not a youth movement?
Wow, that really got deep.
That got real deep.
And ordinarily, Anthony doesn't mind that, but that was confusing.
Well, yeah. I like to go deep.
And we love
especially in home run derbies.
We like Greek mythology. We talk about the Sisyphus or whatever. I think it's Greek. I don't know. The guy with the boulder.
The rolling it uphill.
The boulder guy.
Sisyphus.
Yeah.
Sisyphus.
They make
That's different.
that's medication.
Speaking of doctors, that's different. Yeah. Eggplant emoji says, can Anthony get DFA'd? Asking for audience. I probably could.
Anthony's a glue guy. We're not DFAing Anthony.
Yeah. There's some people in the snake pit that would like to see me DFA'd, and you know what? It's none of my business why.
You know what it is? I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I thought you were going to give some insight
I
there.
thought I was, but, maybe, I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm not in their heads.
Yep.
I don't know.
All right, it's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We've got the Gauntlet next.
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet, the name you know, the name you should trust, especially when it comes time to purchase a vehicle. They've got great inventory, whether you're looking for a brand new vehicle or a pre-owned vehicle. And they've got 2 locations now, which is amazing. The original location in Florissant, Missouri, we all know where that is, but the new Londoff Autoplex located out in St. Peters, right off of Highway 70. Both locations have great inventory, and both locations have tremendous customer service. And that's really what it's about for Johnny Londoff and the Chevrolet team over there. It's not always about the sales price, although they will compete and beat almost anybody out there on the market, but it's about the experience you have purchasing your vehicle. They treat you like family. They want to make sure you're happy, and they want to make sure that your vehicle is a great vehicle for you for many years to come. I know this because I've been a customer for over 25 years now, and Johnny Londoff Chevrolet never disappoints. And whether it's Johnny Londoff himself or Jim Saffel out at the Londoff Autoplex, they make sure that you're satisfied. I know this. My girlfriend knows this. My children drive Londoff Chevrolet vehicles, and we're thrilled about the whole thing. And I want you to feel the same way. So please stop by either location. Tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in. They love hearing that. And if you can't do that, you get there online. Visit them at londoff.com or LondoffAutoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
Four warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. you survive the Gauntlet.
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN 403. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. And we have, you said Chris, right? Chris is on the line. What's up, Chris?
How you guys doing?
Good, man. How about yourself?
Good. I'm in Naples, Florida, and I wanted to do a Jamie Rivers thing and make you guys feel horrible about where you are. But there are hurricane force winds, and it's like 65 degrees. So,
well, sun's shining here.
Be careful,
Stay
man.
safe.
It's probably better there. I'm coming back tomorrow.
It's beautiful out here today, Chris. I hate to do that to you.
Okay, so you're making me feel how
I want to make you. Yeah, Chris, be safe, man. But yeah, if you come back, probably coming back to good weather here in St. Louis.
That's good to know.
Would you like to take on Marsh, CD, Jamie, or me today in the Gauntlet?
My whole plan was to take on you and hope for random.
Okay, I don't blame you.
There you
It's a
go.
great strategy.
You can't win it twice in a row. There's just no way.
It's a good call. Probably not.
Playing the odds. I like that.
Are you going with me, Chris?
So now, yeah, I'm going with you, and now I'll get football. I'll lose.
No, you never. Hey, listen, I can lose in all things. Trust me. Good luck to you, Chris.
Thank you.
All right, Chris. Anthony on his way to the Cone of Silence, where he'll be all by himself today. Nobody else in there. While he's going into there, tell Marshy to spin the wheel.
Spin that wheel, Marsh.
All right, so you do you really want random, or were you just saying that because you want to get in Anthony's head?
Get in his head. Really just anything other than football with Anthony.
Okay, well, Chris, you must be a clairvoyant because random it is. Unreal.
Now's the time that I get 0 out of 8. This is just how life goes.
Oh, man. All right, well, Marshy's getting all the questions for us. As you know, it's 2 points for you if you answer a question correctly without the options. If you use the questions, get it right, it's only 1 point. Of course, if you get it wrong, you get 0. If you're tied after 4 questions, you will go to a tiebreaker, and we will get a winner here in the Gauntlet. Yeah. Marcia, are you okay, buddy?
Yeah, well, there's usually 3 pieces of paper with the questions on it.
Okay.
Now there's 1 piece of paper with the question on it.
We can just pass it around.
And these are blank, so I don't know, unless it's like...
Take one down, pass it around,
yeah.
you know?
It could be like the back of the Declaration of Independence. You got to put a little lemon juice on it, blow dry it, and then all of a sudden it like shows up. But
it's random.
This sounds like a lot of trouble. I'll make up the questions.
Okay. All right, Chris, are you ready to go?
I am ready.
All right. Oklahoma City Thunder star Shai Gilgeous. Here, you go question 1. I'm not dealing with that.
NBA guy.
Oklahoma City Thunder star Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has 20 or more points in 58 straight games. For which Group A team did SGA suit up in Paris last summer?
Which Group A team in Paris last summer?
Yep.
Canada, final answer.
All right. Question 2. Who was the 8th and final leader of the Soviet Union?
The guy with the thing on his face. Gorbachev, final answer.
Okay.
You took a picture.
I took a picture of it, yeah. All right, question number 3. Identify the best-selling Pez dispenser of all time.
Oh, my God. I'm going to need the options on this.
Options are the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, or Halloween Witch.
Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, Halloween. It's got to be Santa Claus. Final answer.
Question number 4. In 2018, the Dallas Mavericks acquired Luka Doncic on draft night in a trade with which team?
Atlanta Hawks. Final answer.
All right, we'll get Anthony back in here. How you feel, Chris?
Well, that last question was a basketball question. I feel like I sold a false bill of goods here.
Not what you thought, huh?
I guess it is. You guys don't have. There is no basketball category, right?
Nope.
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Oh, that's random.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony's back with us. You can plug yours in now, Anthony. Kona sounds quiet.
It was real quiet.
Was it better or worse for your motivation?
I'm locked in today. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so. You got random, buddy.
Did I?
For
Okay.
real. For real.
All
Seriously.
right.
Yep.
All right.
Pack a lunch.
You better add a dinner.
Okay. All right.
Protein shake would help as well.
CD's going to start because you'll know why in a second.
Oklahoma City Thunder star Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has 20 or more points in 58 straight games. For which Group A team did SGA suit up in Paris last summer?
I believe that was Jamie's home country, his birth country of Canada. Yeah, Canada, final answer.
All right. Who was the 8th and final leader of the Soviet Union?
Well, it had to be Gorbachev, right? Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall. Yeah, I mean, it had to be Gorbachev. Final answer.
Question number 3. Identify the best-selling Pez dispenser of all time.
I have no idea. Options.
Options are Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, or Halloween Witch.
The Halloween Witch doesn't make sense, which kind of makes me feel like I should go with it, but Easter Bunny is almost too obvious. I'll go Santa. I feel like Santa would be a popular one just because he's Santa, and it kind of doesn't make sense either. I'll go Santa. Final answer.
Final question. In 2018, the Dallas Mavericks acquired Luka Doncic on draft night in a trade with who?
Oh, man. I need the options.
The Atlanta Hawks, the Charlotte Bobcats, or the Brooklyn Nets?
I had Charlotte in my mind. I had Charlotte in my mind, but now I'm second guessing. Is it Brooklyn? Brooklyn, Charlotte, or who? Atlanta?
Yep. Atlanta Hawks.
They all sound
Bobcats,
right now.
Brooklyn Nets.
I'm gonna go Brooklyn. Brooklyn, final answer.
All right. Let's go over this. We'll start right at the top. Oklahoma City Thunder star SGA. Much easier that way. Has 20 or more points in 58 straight games. For which of the Group A teams did SGA suit up for in Paris last summer? Our guy Chris said, "Oh, Canada." Our guy Anthony also said, "Oh, Canada." Well, boys, answer is
Canada.
Yeah, it's Canada. 2-2 after one.
He didn't need it. All right.
Nope. No options necessary on that one. Second question. Who is the 8th and final leader of the Soviet Union? Our guy Chris said, that guy with that thing on his face. That guy. Gorbachev.
Oh, okay. Did he say Gorbachev?
Yeah. And Anthony also said it had to be Gorbachev. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall. Final answer. Okay, great. Answer is?
It is Gorbachev.
But neither of you needed the options. 4-4 after 2. Next question. Identify the best-selling Pez dispenser of all time. Chris took the options. Santa Claus. Anthony, you also took the options. Santa Claus was your answer as well. CD, answer is?
The Halloween witch made no sense, did it?
No.
This is Santa Claus.
No. So here we are. The final question. We are tied at 5 points each.
Good job, Chris.
In 2018, the Dallas Mavericks acquired Luka Doncic on draft night in a trade with Chris, without the options, said the Atlanta Hawks. Anthony, with the options, said the Charlotte Bobcats.
Said the Brooklyn Nets.
The Brooklyn
yeah.
Nets. My bad. Okay, the Brooklyn Nets. I'll just say this: one of you is right.
Yeah.
So whoever gets it right will win the Gauntlet today. Chris.
You have chosen wisely.
It was the Atlanta
Nice job,
Hawks.
Chris.
Chris wins today 7-5. Nice job, Chris.
Thank you. I was ironically complaining about the basketball question. It was a Trae Young trade, which was a horrible mistake.
Good call. Yeah. When Jamie read the options, I'm like, man, they all sound right. But I couldn't remember. Either way, it doesn't matter. You won. Nice job. Congratulations. And you'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to head to the penalty box, man. Nice job.
Thanks. Talk to you guys tomorrow.
All right, take care, Chris. Anthony, good job, though.
Thanks.
I was good.
Man. You didn't mail it in that time.
I didn't.
You actually, I was proud of you.
You tried
Very
hard,
proud of
man.
you.
Yeah. Tried his little guts out.
I did. I certainly did.
Anthony,
Still want to be in an
thanks
L.
for giving us your very best.
Yeah. You're welcome,
Wasn't
guys.
good enough.
That just wasn't good enough. And I'll get my ass into the penalty box. When you read all of them, I'm like, damn, they all sound right. All right. But I would have lost anyways because he had it with no options, right?
No options.
Yeah. Nice job by Chris. Excellent. All right. We are. Why don't we dive back in the Blues? There's some things. Oh, sorry.
Hey, you have to be mad at me. You're throwing it
I hit the mic. The pen flew out of my hand. Sorry, Jamie.
That's all right. This time.
If I threw it, it would have been weak sauce, anyways. Jamie had kind of a great anecdote about Jordan Binnington and how the lore, the legend of Jordan Binnington continues to grow. He's got kind of a story behind that. That's next on 101 ESPN. Auto Center's Nissan right now. It's got their Nissan Now sales event. It's going on throughout the month of March, and over 800 new and used vehicles are all in one location. Heavily discounted prices on every vehicle in stock. You can enjoy exclusive offers from Auto Center's Nissan, like $359 down and $359 per month on select new Kicks, or $449 down and $449 per month on select new Frontiers. These aren't leases. 0 down, no payments for 3 months on select used vehicles, or no payments for 6 months on select new Nissans right now at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. Also, with all 2025 Nissan models at Auto Center's Nissan, they come with a free lifetime warranty, 3 free oil changes, plus you get that peace of mind with a 30-day return promise within 30 days. If you're not completely sold on the vehicle, or maybe you're dissatisfied with the experience, bring it back. They'll refund your money. They'll set you up with something else that you do love. Credit issues, or if you're stuck in a current loan, don't worry. Other dealerships may overpromise and underdeliver. Auto Center's Nissan, they're confident that anyone that walks through the doors can exclusively drive away, can drive away in a brand new Nissan. Highly rated on Google. You'll love the experience. It's Auto Center's Nissan and AutoCentersNissan.com.
you look at all the big saves he made in the third and in overtime and in the shootout. That's just his ability to rise in big moments is always what, describes him best as why he's special.
That was Jim Montgomery after the L.A. game. I think it was the first L.A. game. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Jamie, you were kind of sharing an anecdote to us in the pre-show meeting about Jordan Binnington and why maybe the lore has grown for Jordan Binnington.
Yeah, so since this Four Nations tournament was so much fun to watch. We loved both Canada-USA games. All of it was great. But here's what's happened. All of the best players in the league got to witness what Jordan Binnington can do in big moments and just how good he is as a goaltender, including all of his Canadian teammates that basically relied upon him to save the game for them, especially in overtime against USA. I told this story on the air last week, I believe, or maybe the week before, but Nathan McKinnon, I'm down between the benches, playing for Colorado, one of the best players, currently the top scorer in the NHL. He's skating by me, talking to his teammate, said, I can't fast lane beat this guy.
That's awesome.
And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, he was lodged into his skull with the way he was playing.
Yeah.
Talking to some players in L.A., Drew Doughty in particular, it was Team Canada teammate for Jordan Binnington at the Four Nations. He was talking about how the Kings feel like, what do we have to do to beat this guy? And this was following the second game against the Kings, where he had all those breakaway saves and all that stuff, overtime, shootout, all that. The one that Monty was just talking after the game. That team felt like they can't beat this guy. Mm. So the lore of Jordan Binnington is that teams now, when he makes a couple of big saves, they're looking for something bigger and better. Oh, and one more pass. Like, I'm watching the LA Kings right down the middle of the ice, passing it over, trying to find somebody for a one-timer because they don't think they can beat Jordan Binnington one-on-one. And it's just like anything else. It's like the Tom Brady effect. I'm not calling Jordan Binnington Tom Brady, but if you have a good quarterback, you feel like, can't beat this guy.
Yeah.
Like Patrick Mahomes last year, even on bad team that are not as good of team as they had, the Chiefs were still winning because Patrick Mahomes found a way to win. Right. So Jordan Binnington is becoming that player around the NHL. When teams play the Blues and he makes a couple of big saves early, they're like, okay, now what? What do we do?
Yeah.
So the effect of all of that has created a situation for where the Blues, in this playoff hunt, I think they can ride the hot goalie as long as possible. That was for you, DeMarco. And I think it's fascinating to see this. It's fascinating from the standpoint of knowing from people in Colorado that they thought they were going to lose that series in the playoffs because of Jordan Binnington. And now he's back in to their domes with how well he's playing. It can be a massive advantage to have a guy that's even portrayed as to being, that dominant.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Carey, I must say, like, to Jamie's point there, it must be sometimes when you're sitting on the sidelines and you're watching another quarterback play, you're like, you can't beat him.
Yeah, you got to find a way to, just get something on them. Like in football, if we can just hit them one time, maybe that'll slow him down. And in hockey, if I can find a way to get one past him, maybe that'll shake his confidence. But if he's standing on his head and performing at that level, which Marshy brought up a good point when we were going through the Four Nations tournament, is if Jordan Binnington has one of those Jordan Binnington type moments, does that propel him for the rest of the season? Does that just send him on a trajectory where he's doing outstanding and amazing things for the rest of the year? And Marshy brought that up, and I think that's what we've seen since that tournament. Since they won gold, Jordan Binnington has been outstanding.
I think the question now is, and some people are wondering, should Jordan Binnington play a majority of the games down the stretch? There was a chance maybe for Jordan Binnington to play on Saturday with, the Blues being off for a few days, and then maybe you go back to him, or maybe then you play Joel Hofer. I think a lot of people thought that getting 2 points on Saturday was crucial, but they ended up going with Joel Hofer.
Yeah, and look, I understand that. I even posed a question to several people while on that trip. Do you go back with Binner? Like, do you do that? 7 o'clock game in Anaheim, 5 o'clock game in LA. So the start time's less than 24 hours apart. Jordan Binnington, He didn't see a ton of action in Anaheim, but still. But at the same token, you have a formula that's working for you right now. Now, Joel Hofer did not have a good game in Dallas. So you want to get him going as well. I understand the thought process of going with Binnington over and over and over and over again. I don't think you get to that point until the month of April. Mm-hmm. You know, in the month of April, if you want to just, instead of doing this 2 for Binnington, 1 for Hofer, if you want to just say, you know what, guys, we're pedal to the metal here, we have to get in, I guess you do so. But here's the way it looks moving forward. If we stick to the model, next 2 games, Pittsburgh, Minnesota. So we go Binnington. The third game, Anaheim, here at home. A game that Joel Hofer should win. Then it goes Vancouver, Chicago, it goes Nashville, Vancouver, Binnington, Chicago, here at home. I just don't necessarily see the reason to where you'd have to just keep doubling down and tripling down with Jordan Binnington. Joel Hofer's played some really good hockey this year. He's had some moments where the pucks have found it back in the net, but that happens to every goalie at some point during the season, unless you're one of the top 5 elite guys. It's going to happen. So I think the Blues would be smart to continue with this formula, and as they get deeper into the schedule here, like the month of April, if you want to bury the needle and go nothing but Binnington, you don't have one back-to-back in the month of April, and it's Detroit, Pittsburgh, Colorado, Winnipeg, Edmonton, Seattle, and you finish with Utah. So you have a couple of games in that would directly impact your playoff spot.
Yeah, he's playing every game for me.
I would play him every game, but that's 3, 6, 7 games. You'd play him in a row. Maybe you give him the Seattle game off in Seattle.
I think it really depends. Right, it just depends on
where you're at.
What if you lose 2 of the games against who you say Nashville and Vancouver, right? Then that Chicago game becomes like a must-win almost at that point.
And I think the Blues are going to treat it in real time.
Right.
Like I think they have the formula in place, but I do know there were discussions internally. Maybe not sure. And if they're close to that playoff line and they need the victory, you're probably going to see them do something that they said they wouldn't do, or they do something that they alluded that they wouldn't do,
Well, things change, Mox.
They do. And things will continue to change in real time depending on how the Blues continue to play.
All right, we'll go to our Sports Six-Pack next. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. You got any questions for us, send it there. Sports Six-Pack next. Our guy Stewie's on the line right now. Jamie, apparently different people get different rates.
What?
What's up with that? Stewie, explain.
Anthony, the mortgage industry is very prejudiced. So people with lower incomes get better rates than people with higher incomes. It's just the way it is. So here's what we can do. We had an ESPN listener came in, they wanted to buy a house. Their combined income was $160,000. They were going to be subject to the higher rate because $160,000 is pretty good money. What we did was we ignored the wife's income, and we just got them qualified on the husband's income. His income was $70,000. That's considered lower income. Because we were able to prove it just under his name, and we can ignore the wife's income, we gave him 0.5% better on the rate. Of course, still eligible for the bagel loan, but you got to know how to manipulate and maneuver within the system to get you folks the best dealers out there.
Anthony, what do I always say about Stewie?
He's incredible.
He's incredible.
He's the best.
Yeah, all these things for sure. And he finds a way to help you every time.
Mm-hmm.
And this is another example. Just a quick little strategy by Stewie. Just, hey, let's drop the one income. Let's use the other. Let's get the better rate. You're still going to be using the same money total to pay the house. That's why Stewie's the best. That's why he needs to be all of our listeners' lender, their guy. Give him a call on his personal cell phone number. That's 314-324-4440.
Again, 314-324-4440.
And you heard Stewie talk about it there. You can always Google the bagel loan.
Thanks, Stewie.
Have a good night, guys.
NMLS number 226715.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-million. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
You can now watch 101 ESPN live on our Air Alliance Team Studio Cams. Catch every show live on our YouTube channel or at 101ESPN.com. 101 ESPN Studio Cams. .101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. We just got done talking about Jordan Binnington and your St. Louis Blues. The Blues are off until Thursday. They'll take on the Pittsburgh Penguins, and you can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so if you have any questions you want to send our way, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Salt. You guys okay?
We need a behind-the-scenes segment.
Well,
do we?
That'd be somewhere else, though.
That'd be the last of our
on the last
time here.
The last day, whenever that is.
Yeah.
Whenever last day is. Look out.
Tribute video.
It's coming.
Turn the mics on a little early.
Whenever Anthony... Well, whenever he answers people on Twitter, I always laugh.
Oh man!
Now he's officially in the snake pit, which I can't believe because For years, I've worked with Anthony. He doesn't even really look at the text line now because
I'll respond to everybody.
There's blackout rage.
And now he's in the chat.
Nice people, mean people. I'll respond to everybody.
In the snake pit.
Yeah.
Anthony, what are you doing? What's going on?
I can give you a little bit of behind the scenes. You were gone. Anthony feels like he's been not picked on because he's not a picked on type of guy, but he just feels like some people have an axe to grind with him. Like they're on him every single day, and they're saying things. And, initially it starts out, actually I know when it started. It started with the Asia comment. That's when it started.
Which I deserved.
It started then. And here we are 2 weeks later.
Percolating.
Yeah, it's been kind of...
You kind of roll with it for a little while.
Down the field.
You kind of roll with it for a little while. You're like, all right, yeah, man, I'm an idiot. You feel dumb. Like, you get me. And it's been about a week and a half, 2 weeks or so. But I feel like they've kind of ramped it up since the India thing. Like this guy, Mr. James Cagney, you're a dang radio sports guy. How do you not know the Doncic for Trae Young trade? If a caller knows, you should know. It's your job. Laughing face emoji.
We're not trivia.
So I responded. The real answer, I forgot on the spot. It happens. The answer you're looking for, because I'm an idiot that shouldn't be using up your and everyone else's oxygen. I'm the worst. Which we all had to laugh about.
Oh, that's not what we were laughing about.
No. I may have made some other comments in the break.
You did. It said it involved dragging someone around the parking lot.
The snake pit's awesome. They're great. They're great. Hey, rule number one. Nobody's safe. No one's safe. Do I get angry sometime and want to throw a chain around somebody's neck and drive them around the parking lot? Sure, but who doesn't?
Especially if you're a former athlete.
No. Right.
Like
these guys.
Hey, you speaking my language.
I love you, Snake Pit.
Dr. Smooshy Poop says, take it out in the gym, not the comment section on YouTube.
Listen, this is fun.
No excuse.
Have we downloaded any tunes to our iPod Shuffle yet?
Not yet.
Oh, Anthony. Wow. I feel like I wasted money.
You know what?
That was such a heartfelt idea.
Do you know why, though?
You having trouble?
You don't have an old enough computer?
The cord doesn't match up anymore.
Lost it. No, I didn't lose it. The honest to God truth is that when Jamie said, "Why don't you just use your phone?" I'm like, "Yeah, why don't I just use my phone?" So I got it on my phone.
Oh my gosh.
I could choke you right now and not even feel bad at all. Like sleep like a baby.
But I will. All right, I will. Because honestly, I don't like using my phone for the music.
That was $17 I'll never get back, Anthony.
Is that how much those are worth?
Yes. They used to be hundreds. $17.
I appreciate it. I do.
Goodness.
At least let your kids use it.
No, I'm going to use it.
Pass it
I will.
along. It's a family heirloom.
It means something to me. You gave it to me. I felt it was very heartfelt when you gave it to me. I felt really like, man,
I can tell.
These are my brothers.
It's great. I'm just going to put it over here in a drawer.
Yeah. I didn't put it in a drawer. They can still in my bag.
I think.
I haven't seen it since you gave it.
I haven't seen it either. He doesn't know. It's probably with the other one.
I'm going to use it. Where is the other one? Because that one had all the music. If you guys find that somewhere.
Now if I find it, I'm going to smash it with a hammer.
Oh, man.
You better not.
I will.
I honestly kind of blame you guys for that.
You're not going to use mine? You can't use yours.
I kind of blame you guys for that, though.
Why?
What did we do?
Because I had it out.
Yeah.
Jamie got a good. You guys got a good laugh out of it.
We were taken aback by it because we didn't know what year it was.
I felt like I was looking at an 8-track almost.
It was 2005 again. What the hell are we doing?
I was like, damn, Anthony, you forget your Sony Walkman at home today?
It's just disappointing. It's one thing to not know who, Luka Doncic was traded for, but, to not use that iPod Shuffle.
Yeah, that's
disappointing. Disheartening. That's probably a better word.
Yeah.
I'm just reading some of these comments. Bacon wrapped wiener. I see Anthony being an Edgar Allan Poe type, an edgy Poe with depression. Eggplant emoji. People give Anthony a hard time because he's a good sport about it, unlike BK. Well, thank you.
Ricochet right there.
Gator, I'm always in Anthony's corner. Thank you, Gator. You the man. I love you. I love you, Snake Pit. And Jason, you're right. Rule number 1, nobody's safe. All right, here we go.
Oh, that's right. We're doing the 6-pack.
Are we?
Yeah,
Where are we?
We get there.
We'll get a question in.
Hey,
Question number 1.
Hey, Marsh, remember last week and you're like, why can't we get this down to one segment?
Yeah, so
this is why.
Anthony and I looked at him like, what the hell are you talking about? He's
It's been a year and a half since we've done that.
Yeah.
I didn't ask why. I was like, hey, maybe we should try and, do one 6-pack.
And
we shunned him.
And Carey and I respectfully told you that if you still want that job, we're not going down to
2 segments of the 6-pack, damn it.
We're not going down to one sports pack.
No chance.
Come on.
No chance.
All right, go ahead, Marsh.
So we are doing a question.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll hit the button again.
Question number 1.
Oh, man.
All right. Let me try and find one that fits our vibe right now. Oh, here we go. From a 618. What's your opinion on the LeBron and Stephen A. dust-up?
So, I guess it centers around the fact that Stephen A. said some things about Bronny. He didn't question his character. He didn't physically attack him, and he talked about basketball.
Yeah.
And LeBron has turned this into, you don't talk about my son like that. Well, then your son shouldn't play pro sports.
Correct.
Seriously.
And he's doubled down on it. You can't talk about my kid. Nobody talks about my kid. Wait, if Stephen A. said, I think Bronny is the best player in the league under the age of 25.
Right, then you can talk about him.
Oh, but now you can talk about my kid.
Good call.
So if Bronny wasn't a professional basketball player, wasn't a college basketball player if he was just LeBron's son, and Stephen A. Smith said something about the way he dresses or the way he talks,
right.
then, yeah, you have that courtside visit and you say, really, bro? Really want to talk about my kid? My kid?
Yeah.
That's off limits. It's just off limits.
Yeah.
But your son plays in the NBA, only plays in the NBA, quite honestly, because his dad is LeBron James. So he's susceptible to not just criticism, but a lot of other criticisms just surrounding why he's actually in the NBA, as opposed to other players that might, I don't know, be better than him.
No, you nailed it.
So
100%.
So if I'm not mistaken, the criticism that he had was, why is Bronny playing these minutes, right? Why is he getting these opportunities? He was saying that he had averaged 0.8 points and 0.3 rebounds, and he's getting minutes during the middle of the game. And Stephen A., he's doing his job. He's critiquing a basketball move about a basketball player and the basketball team.
It's actually more about J.J. Redick.
Why are you playing him in these moments, in these key moments, when he's not ready or not good enough at this moment? Thanasis, Giannis's brother, was on the Bucks. Nobody ever complained about that. You know why? Because Thanasis don't come in unless they're down by 20 or up by 20.
He does a great job.
He does an okay job of trying to get rebounds on shots that he misses.
Who's
not a good
Bronny or him?
Bronny's probably better than Thanasis.
Right.
Thanasis is taller, but
I'm just asking. I don't know.
His highlight reel is pretty good.
It's interesting. But nobody complains about that because you know why? He doesn't play. He doesn't play critical moments or critical minutes of a game. And then for me, that's all Stephen A. was saying. This kid is not ready. He's in this position because of who his father is. And his father thrusted him into this position, into this spotlight. And now he's being critiqued. And now you're mad at somebody for critiquing the decision that you made.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't think it was anything that Stephen A. Smith did wrong. He listened. He didn't buck back at him. He just, okay, whatever. But I think LeBron is dead wrong because your son is in the NBA. This comes with the territory. Maybe you don't understand it because at 18, you were phenomenal. And you were on the cover of Sports Illustrated. You had everybody in the world waiting on your appearance to play. I still remember the Sacramento Kings. Everyone was waiting to watch you play. That's not your son's story, and your son is not you. But you put him in the same position on the same team, and he's playing in games beside you. But he hasn't necessarily earned that privilege.
He's actually put his son in a really bad spot.
I couldn't agree more. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah. If I'm Bronny, I'm like, hey, Dad, you're not doing me any favors here, man.
I'm taking more of a beating because of you.
Now I look weaker.
And he actually has pretty good numbers in the G League. The two guys that were drafted below him, Bronny's numbers in the G League are significantly better than those guys. So you can make the argument, okay, yeah, this draft pick here makes sense, but playing NBA minutes, I don't know about that.
If I was Bronny, honestly, and LeBron was my dad, and he's talking about the Lakers, I'd say, listen, Dad, if you want me to play in the NBA and you want to make some phone calls, fine.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on your team.
No other team was going to draft him, though.
But then that's your answer.
But that I don't know that for with 100% certainty. I doubt. With other than LeBron saying, if you want me, draft my son, right? A team may have drafted him because of that. But on his own merit, I don't think a team would have drafted Bronny James and said,
I agree with that. I guess that's my point more than anything.
Yeah.
Is that if the kid's not qualified for it, and I understand every walk of life, it's a business. Dad owns the business. Little Johnny just gets out of college and he's handed a really important job within the business that he hasn't earned and doesn't really understand.
Yeah.
So the nepotism,
like a brake company,
it's everywhere. Like a brake company.
It happens everywhere.
I saw a documentary about that.
But at the same time, little Johnny, who's got a job that maybe he shouldn't, isn't getting scrutinized on a daily basis by people in the media. Maybe people within the office and things like that, but I don't know. I just think that LeBron created this mess, and Stephen A's just doing his job.
Well, and too, maybe no team wanted him this year, but could have stayed in college. Yep. Maybe played a little bit better.
He didn't have to leave early.
But he did, though, because of LeBron and how many years maybe he has left in the league. That's the only reason.
Yeah. Well, he's about to buy your dad's company, and all you can say is, man, he seems like a nice guy. It's a great documentary, boys.
It is.
Great
Fantastic.
documentary. Yeah.
You learn
Jamie, you were there.
You're Herbie Hancock.
Yep.
Yeah, you're Herbie. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's Herbie Hancock. All right, even though Marsh has decided that he wants to ruin part 2 of the six-pack, we won't let him. The other 5 questions, maybe. Next on 101 ESPN.
Weather is getting nice outside. What a perfect time to accessorize your vehicle. Go see my friends over at Pure Performance. They're your one-stop shop for all aftermarket modifications. They've got an unbelievable showroom. It's 25,000 square feet. You walk in and you just look at all of these amazing things. And it doesn't matter what kind of car you drive either. It's a Jeep, a Bronco. Obviously, they've got tons of accessories available for you there. Lots of fun things to add to your vehicle. SUV, pickup truck, they've got you there too. They've even got things for minivans. So whatever you're driving around right now, if you want to spice it up a little bit, head over to Pure Performance. They're located in St. Peters, right off of Highway 70, Cave Springs Boulevard exit. When you get over there, ask for Shelby. Please tell her Jamie Rivers sent you in there. She's going to take great care of you. And when it comes to tires, nobody does it better. Pure Performance has tires for every make and model of vehicle out there, every size possible for you. Even for your ATV, UTV, and your golf carts, they've got all of those wheels and tires available at Pure Performance too. They are the best in the business. They're the only place I take my vehicles to get accessories, and they also have a full garage. So don't forget that too. Oil change, brakes, tune-up, whatever you need, Pure Performance has got you covered. So again, stop by, check things out, or at least get to the website at pureperformance.com. That's pure, P-U-R, performance.com.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six Pack is now.
All right, back by popular demand, at least for all but one of us.
Yeah, it's really weird, Marshy, that you just don't like the Sports Six Pack.
I think he likes it. He just likes it down to one.
He obviously doesn't like it that much.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
And he doesn't like our answers because he wants us to just speed through it. Doesn't really want
He wants our answers concise, quick.
Yeah.
I got to get through this.
Hang on. Go ahead, Marshy. Next question.
No, that's good.
Question 2, please.
Question 2, please. Go ahead.
No. Continue what you wanted to say.
No, we're good. I'm done.
You're good?
Yeah.
Question number 2.
All right, so earlier in the show, we were talking about culture and leadership and not throwing people under the bus. From the 618, can a team have culture and leadership yet lack the level of talent to win consistently?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll say no.
Question number 3.
Marsh knew. He knew. He knew what we're up. He knew what we're up to. You know us too well, Marsh.
Right now, he's like 5:30. Can't get here fast enough right now. He's that guy with the question earlier about hating his teammates.
Yeah.
He texted it in.
I texted it in and then wrapped myself.
Let's actually check that number.
Advice of former athletes. Hey, guys, what do you do if you hate the other 3 guys you're working with?
That's hilarious.
No, but seriously.
You may have to read that again, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it was just...
Did he ask a question?
Yeah.
Well, we answered it.
Oh, yeah. The question that...
Go ahead,
I forgot
read it
what the
again,
question
Marshall.
was.
Yeah, so from the 618, can a team have culture and leadership yet lack the level of talent to win consistently?
Now that I heard it, yes.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yes, you can. Come on, guys. It's a serious program.
It is very serious.
Yes, I think you can. I think you'd have great leadership, and I think you can have a really good culture. But if you don't have the talent, then it's not going to matter. You just get schooled.
I think culture comes from winning.
Well, no, not necessarily. Sometimes winning's a byproduct of the culture.
But if you, again, do you have a culture if your team, your culture is losing if you're not winning?
No, but Carey, I disagree because I played on a couple of teams that were really crappy, okay? But we were the culture around the room. Like sometimes the what's the word I'm looking for? The feeling was like, I hate losing. This sucks, you know? So, but the culture was good. Like we went to work every day. We worked hard. We fought for each other.
We had a good environment.
We had a good environment.
Yeah.
But then, so then culture, environment, like now we're really splitting hairs a little bit.
Yeah.
I do think that you can have good leadership, which helps guys in losing situations. You help guys continue to show up, work hard, play for each other, which is more difficult to do when you are losing. So I think you can. Do I think winning helps a culture? Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It makes everybody feel warm and fuzzy at that point. You know?
Everybody wants to win.
Yeah, everybody wants to win. They should anyways. So I think that could be true, where the culture is fine, leadership's fine, but your team's just not very good. It happens.
Brandon from the Snake Pit goes, sounds like Bradford Brunt's going to be in tomorrow.
I'll take the day.
I think you were suggesting you might be just walking after the crap that you're putting up with.
Let this be known,
tough guy.
He is a tough guy.
If Marshy's not here tomorrow,
we ride.
That's his choice.
Yeah.
Not ours.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were going to say if I'm not here, none of us are here.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I thought that's what you were doing team.
I thought that's what you were doing.
Teammate move.
I'm with you, Marsh. You leave. We're.
Yeah.
Jamie ultimately was being positive.
I was being positive. I was basically saying we're not getting rid of Marshy.
Right.
And you, CD, you had to spin that on its ugly head.
He spun it. I agreed with him. He spun it. I agreed with him.
You guys must have your own.
You can take tomorrow
chat too, because you guys are all wearing dark shirts. I'm wearing a yellow one. So what's going on here?
We didn't text them.
It's ridiculous.
I thought you said you were gonna.
I thought you were.
CD, what the hell were you? Sorry.
When 3 people are in charge of feeding the dog, nobody feeds the dog.
That's a good point.
Dog gets starved.
Okay.
All right.
Question number 3.
All right, we got a question from the 217. You guys talk about the what-if athletes a lot, but I never hear Bossy or Lemieux. If not for medical issues, do you think Ovechkin is chasing one or both instead of Gretzky?
Oh, wow. That is a really great question. It really is. That's assuming both players could have kept scoring at the pace that they were scoring. I think Bossy had only played 10 years. He got 500 goals.
Wow.
I think that's why. I think he scored 50 goals a year for his entire career, which is pretty unbelievable.
No kidding.
But, again, would that taper off as he gets older and older and older? Lemieux, there are certainly some of Gretzky's records that would have been broken by Mario Lemieux. I mean, he was just a phenomenal player. But, sometimes... Oh, so let's word it this way, though. If Alex Ovechkin played, the same amount of games as Wayne Gretzky and whatnot, like, Ovi's playing really late into his career, and he's been healthy for a lot of it. So, I don't know. There's a lot of ifs. But those guys were absolute studs. I mean, Mike Bossy, one of the greatest pure goal scorers ever. And I'm looking at his NHL numbers, guys. Listen to this. These are goals. 53, 69, 51, 68, 64, 60, 51, 58, 61. And in his last year, he only played 63 games due to injury. He scored 38.
Wow.
Total of 573 goals in a 10-year span.
That's amazing.
So maybe we might be talking about Mike Bossy. Imagine if he played another 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
We might be looking at him as the guy.
Very cool.
Question number 4.
From the 636, do you guys feel like any NFL offseason move so far has turned a good team into a contender?
Yeah, I got one. We'll tell you next on 101 ESPN. Green Envy. Jamie was just saying to me in the break, I got to call Green Envy. I got to switch my service over. That's right, because it's springtime. And when it comes to springtime in St. Louis, once the rain hits and then the weather starts to get warm again, crabgrass starts to become a problem in St. Louis. That's why you got to jump on Green Envy's program. Green Envy is the absolute best. They're the only company that I trust when it comes to our lawn. Green Envy only uses products that are formulated for Missouri soil, weather conditions, and turf types. So we're not talking about them using national, generic, cheap, ineffective products. If you're somebody that has struggled constantly trying to maintain your lawn, and you go down to the hardware store and you buy, a bunch of products that you think is going to help, a lot of times all you're doing is waste of money because the products aren't actually formulated for our soil type and our weather conditions here in Missouri. These are things that Green Envy knows. Green Envy deploys a special crabgrass preventer. Their service professionals are commercially licensed applicators. They're certified by the Missouri Department of Agriculture. The programs have no hidden fees. No contract is required. Give Green Envy a call, 636-655-3689. You can also visit them, greenenvylawns.com. They're phenomenal. They even got grass to grow on this one spot at the side of my house, really a long time ago, I'm like, man, I can't get this to grow at all. They seeded it properly. They maintained it properly. And now I don't have to worry about it. Springtime hits. I know that area is going to be covered thanks to Green Envy. You're not going to regret calling Green Envy, especially this springtime. Call them now. Green Envy. Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. So, Marsh, you had asked in the final sports six-pack question whether or not we feel as though that a team actually improved today. And I said I had one. To me, Chicago Bears. I think the Chicago Bears improved greatly today. They got the top center on the market, which was Drew Dahlman. If you also factor in the acquisitions that they made a week ago with the offensive line, the Bears are building up front, which is what smart teams do. So Ben Johnson, who was hired from Detroit, who was the Lions offensive coordinator, he's hired by the Bears. Jamie, you had talked about the moment he walked in the building, how he galvanized people right away. You saw some of the videos, which is all great, right? Like, oh, new boss, everybody's happy. What do you actually do when you can improve your team? Really, this is the first period that he's had an opportunity to improve the team, and I think he's already done so. They also signed Grady Jarrett, defensive tackle, to a 3-year deal. Grady Jarrett's a big-time leader. Great guy, productive, came off the injury last year and rebounded. I think the Bears have had a great offseason thus far. By you guys, is there another team?
I liked what the Patriots did. I think they got 3 defensive starters. They got Milton Williams from the Eagles. They grabbed Robert Spillane, who was 3rd in tackles last year. He just is like a shot out of a cannon every time he hits people. And then they got Carlton Davis on the back end. They got 3 day one starters on their defense. Mm-hmm. And I think that they're a team that's trying to figure out, which you got a young quarterback. How do you play? You got to be good defensively, and you got to be sound defensively. They got a new head coach. I like what the Patriots did with getting those 3 defenders that are going to help their team.
Yeah, I like both of those teams, what they did. I also like another team that it's not that they really added a lot. They did add, but they kept some of their own pieces, and that was the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
I like what they're doing this offseason. They're trying to keep that group together. Baker Mayfield is kind of the centerpiece there now at the quarterback position. But it's important to keep the guys around to help him as well. They did that. So for me, I feel like the Bucs are on the podium, somewhere probably 3rd in that one.
I agree. I like what the Bucs have done. That's their division. They've won the last 3 years. They won the NFC South the last 3 years. They bring back Godwin, like you noticed. They added Hassan Reddick. Uh-huh. That's a team that really doesn't need that much. They just need to continue what they're doing. So I like that. What about the Commanders? I think Bazooka Tooth brought them up, and that's another team that is
you trade
nice offseason.
You trade for Deebo Samuel. You trade for Larry Tunsil. You're finding ways. You bring back Zach Ertz on a 1-year deal. Like, you are. For me, I think those 2 are good additions. You got another receiver to go along with Terry McLaurin. And so I'm excited to see and you got to keep him protected. You got to keep your franchise quarterback protected. So you go out and get an offensive lineman as well. I think they did a good job also.
Yeah, I like what they're doing. I mean, you got a quarterback, you have a franchise quarterback on a rookie deal. I talk about this 675 million times. Mm-hmm. It's one of the biggest advantages in all sports, if not the biggest. And the Commanders have decided to add to it. Marsh, what about you? Is there a team that you think has improved dramatically?
Dramatically?
Or have just improved, if you don't like the dramatic part?
I think dramatically it's got to be the Bears for all the reasons that you mentioned in terms of their offensive line, bringing in a new head coach. What is that going to look like? I think the Bears have now, at least for me, put themselves in the conversation of a playoff team and one team to really not take for granted if you're in the NFC North. I think the NFC North right now, based on what the Bears are doing, is looking like it's going to be one of the best divisions in football once again. Mm-hmm. Probably right up there with the AFC North.
Are you good with speaking of the NFC North, you good with the Vikings rolling with J.J. McCarthy since Sam Darnold signed the massive contract today with the Seahawks?
What do you think?
Yeah, you're ready.
I'm ready.
Don't you want a little bit of veteran insurance, though?
No, he doesn't.
Don't you want a little veteran insurance?
Maybe insurance, backup?
Yeah, fun. Backup that maybe knows the system really well.
I tried to stop you, man. All roads lead back to Kirk Cousins. All the roads, and him getting the hell each road is an exit ramp for Kirk. There's no entrance. He's trying to get him out of there.
You know what, Carey? I love you. I do. I love you. I love you like a brother.
Don't send him to Pittsburgh.
I love you like a brother. But you have done 2 things today. You have not allowed me to send Kirk Cousins back to Minnesota where he belongs, and you completely squashed my ability to get Miles Michaelis and Eric Fetty to the Yankees.
I don't think I did that.
You've done two things today that I just don't appreciate.
I don't think it's me.
No, Anthony, we know that you went on your burner account, Boom Boom Skull on X. We think it's your burner. And Boom Boom Skull put out on X, Falcons need to sit his blank on the bench and not allow him to leave, just to humiliate and humble him. Kirk Cousins wanted to be tied up in a fully guaranteed contract, and he got it. Signed his remaining playing years away to be a designated backup. Fastlane you at Kirk Cousins 8. Boom Boom Skull, Anthony's burner account.
Marsh, you know what's funny? So Marsh sent that tweet to our group chat, and I read the tweet first before I read your comment. I read the tweet, and I swear I go, thank you. Thank you. That's exactly how I feel. And then I read Marsh's comment and said, is this Anthony's burner account? Yeah. No, I completely agree with what he said. What do you think about Devontae Adams going to the Rams? That's kind of a nice fit.
That is a good fit.
With Cooper Kupp likely to be released.
Cooper Kupp gone. You already have
to be able to play
1A.
without Aaron Rodgers.
Well, he did it.
Yeah, but he cried about it. Didn't like it.
That's true.
In not New Orleans.
Could Aaron Rodgers be headed to the Rams now?
No, I think he's heading to the Steelers.
No, they got their quarterback. Stafford's staying. And they signed Jimmy G.
I thought you said the Steelers have their quarterback.
Oh, hell no. The Rams have their quarterback.
The Rams definitely have their quarterback.
Yeah, Stafford's there. No, the Steelers definitely don't have their quarterback yet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where Aaron Rodgers is going.
I think Pittsburgh. What are you guys going to do? You're just going to hope that Shedeur falls to you?
I think you should bring in a quarterback and then draft one. Now, which quarterback is left? Slim pickings. Justin Fields, is already gone.
Yep.
You got Russell Wilson,
Jet,
who is still available. You got Aaron Rodgers, who is available. And, you got none of them other guys you really want. You don't want Zach Wilson. You don't want, who else is out there? Mac Jones, maybe? No, thank you.
There'll be one guy that will be available.
He's not. Jameis Winston, no. Jacoby Brissett, no. Are you
looking for somebody with experience?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I don't want that. Don't give a damn. I wanna if I'm gonna go with a guy with experience, I'm gonna go with a Super Bowl champion.
Well, what about
No. That's where I draw the line. If I want experience, I'll get a guy that has won a Super Bowl.
What about a guy with great stats?
I want a guy.
Joe Flacco?
Nope.
He said the criteria. He's had to win a Super Bowl.
I'll take Joe. I'll talk about Joe.
Come around.
Before I talk about damn Kirk Cousins.
I don't know why you're going to besmirch him.
He's owed too much money. Damn, Kirk Cousins.
Shavarius Ward reached an agreement with the Colts worth up to $60 million. Josh Dobbs reached an agreement on a 2-year deal with the Patriots. The Vikings have signed Bubba Bolden. Free agent, spent some time with the Browns. Yeah. The Eagles traded your former quarterback, Carey. Kenny Pickett to the Browns for a pick, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson going to the Eagles.
Good for him.
Yeah. Looking through some of these other ones here. Panthers beef up their defense. They signed Bobby Brown. No, Jamie, not that Bobby Brown. Former Rams nose tackle.
Every little step I take. You will be there.
Some of the other moves that happened earlier today, we mentioned Sam Darnold. He goes to the Seahawks over the weekend. The Seahawks traded Geno Smith to the Raiders. Laremy Tunsil. CD, I think you brought this one up. The Commanders acquired Laremy Tunsil and a 4th-round pick from the Texans. Jets signed Justin Fields, as you mentioned. What am I missing, boys? Anything else?
You say Sam Darnold?
I did say Sam Darnold.
Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett.
We haven't talked about that disaster
Garrett. What happened there?
Well, here's what happened.
The owner's an idiot.
He said, I want out of here. I want to win a championship. How about I give you the highest paid money ever for a non-quarterback?
Yeah.
You know what? Then I think about it.
I'm fine with Myles Garrett deciding that. It's the highest. Yes, please. Thank you. But what kind of an idiot do you have to be as an owner? You have a quarterback who you set a record number of guaranteed money, and that quarterback, he's played kind of-ish. Who knows when he'll play.
He's been out there a couple of times.
Yeah, a couple times.
I don't know if he's played.
so you've got that on the books, and now you give a defensive lineman quarterback money when you don't have a quarterback, and you've give that quarterback, I don't know, like ownership money, basically.
What could go wrong?
This is a
money,
disaster.
Jamie.
Like, if I'm Myles Garrett, maybe I talk to my agent and say, hey, let's see if we can get close to this, but get me to a different team. Because at some point, like, the money's great, but if there's 5 or 10 million difference over the course of the contract, like, I don't know. You say Kenny Pickett?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Cleveland.
Yeah, no. With Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
He wants to win a championship.
Unreal. Disgusting. The Cleveland Browns. They don't even belong in the NFL.
They can get Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
They can get Kirk Cousins.
It's a perfect fit.
Atlanta keep the money, though.
Nope.
Yeah, that would be the only way that works for them.
Why not just keep them? You're paying them anyways.
That's what I said. I
agree with you.
Yeah.
I
Keep
agree
him
with
on your
you.
roster. You need a backup. You need a solid backup. You need a guy.
You're not going anywhere.
Complaining.
Yeah.
You didn't even tell the team you hurt your shoulder, brother.
Right.
You sit there and figure it out.
You didn't tell me you were going to draft a quarterback. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll play well and no problems. Oh, you didn't play well. Now you're
That's
hurt.
why we drafted a quarterback.
You crybaby. All right. Let's bet the board, huh? Huh, boys? Jamie, huge win over the weekend for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Snake Pit was some people in the Snake Pit a little ticked off that you went with the Blackhawks. But they did pull off the upset.
It's just business.
Yeah.
and I got the Blackhawks, too. That's great. Oh, yeah. Okay. By the way, guys, just a little something quick that popped up here.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron Ekblad, Florida Panthers defenseman, has been suspended for 20 games for violating the performance-enhancing or substance abuse, all that stuff. So don't really know what he did, what he took. He says he wrote a little note, says he took something while recovering from an injury that he didn't realize was on the list of things you can't take.
Of course.
We all make that mistake, Aaron.
I went to the supplement store. I got some stuff. They didn't tell me.
He got caught. So he's out for 20 games. So things are going to get interesting in the NHL when it comes time to see how this is going to play out. The Panthers will make the playoffs, but
yeah,
interesting.
Also, Jeff Passan, about 12 minutes ago, New York Yankees ace Garrett Cole will undergo Tommy John surgery tomorrow to repair a torn right ulnar collateral ligament and miss the 2025 season.
Okay.
Nope.
Yankees got to pivot.
Yep, they do.
Yankees got to pivot. Waterboy said he took a Blue Chew.
Go to BlueChew.com.
All right, we'll bet the board next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and if you are in need of a Scrap Mart Metals can help your contractor. If you're a contractor, if you own a business that needs recycling, they are tailor-made for your business to meet your schedule and your budget. Job site cleanup for contractors is a mess at times. If you set up a business account with Scrap Mart to recycle that metal, it'll be one less thing you'd have to do during cleanup. You'd be amazed at how the scrap metals add up and how it can help your business's cash flow. If you're a plumber, if you're heating and cooling, an excavator, or any type of contractor, Scrap Mart Metals Recycling can make your job easier. If you own heavy equipment, it breaks down time and time again. It's frustrating. You have to repair it over and over and over again. When the time comes to end your suffering, Scrap Mart will come and get it out of your way. They'll haul your equipment to one of their locations and get you a check the same day. You don't have to be a business owner. If you have equipment, things around your house that you need to recycle, give Scrap Mart Metals a call. Give them a text. See how you can get in and get that stuff recycled. If you want to do it yourself, they have 3 convenient locations, Valley Park, Peevely, Jonesburg. If it's metal, they will buy it. All you need to do is go to scrapmartmetals.com. My guy Lucas, for you business owners, you can set up a business account with him. He'll get you rolling. That's scrapmartmetals.com. They have the highest payout, and you will always get top dollar for your scrap metals.
Selection Sunday is almost here. You can get signed up now to play in this year's Bracket Madness Pick'em Challenge at 101ESPN.com. It's completely free to enter, and this year's top scorer will take home a $250 Amazon gift card and a 101 ESPN prize pack. You can see the contest rules and sign up to play now at 101ESPN.com. Our Bracket Madness Pick'em Challenge is refreshed by Bud Light. Should be fun this year, guys. You guys are going to take my UConn Huskies?
Nah.
Okay. All right. Let's bet the board.
Oh, boy. We'll just wait till next week. It'll change.
A week ago, he's like, I don't know if they're going to make the tournament.
They should just discontinue the
Things
program.
change.
Things change, Box.
Right, can I get a leaderboard update here?
Absolutely.
Please, Andrew.
Yeah, absolutely. Jamie, would you like to for your score to be read first?
No, just the overall standings.
Okay. So I'm in the lead with 4 points.
Nice job there, Marchie.
Anthony, you have 3 points.
All
How
right.
about St. John's over the weekend?
My guy Swan.
Yeah.
Noting St. John's was a good pick. They won outright.
My guy Jackson was also correct on the over-under in the Illinois game.
Well, look at this.
Yeah. Jamie, you have 2 points. Carey, you have 2 points.
Okay. Not bad.
It's a tight race today.
Sure is.
Or this month, I should say.
Yeah.
A fast lane month.
Yes.
I'm really torn on which player I want to go with today, because it looks like we have a back-to-back for the Nuggets and the Thunder.
Let me see them Nugs.
And do I want to go with the Joker? Do I want to go with the Joker? Points, rebounds, assists. He did not eclipse that 50 mark. And the Nuggets lost. I think he has a bounce-back game tonight.
You do?
Give me the Joker. 50-plus points, rebounds, assist. The Carey Davis model.
Wow, Carey. Anthony, you're next.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. All All right, give me the Knicks, the old Knickerbockers, minus 140 on the money line tonight in Sacramento. Knicks, minus 140 on the money line.
All right, give me Jimmy Butler, 31.5 over points, rebounds, and assists. And Draymond Green, 24.5 over
Someone's excited.
points, rebounds, and assists. And give me SGA, 43.5 over points, rebounds, and assists. And give me the Los Angeles Lakers, minus 5.5. And give me the Denver Nuggets, plus 9.
You're going to regret all of this.
You are. Why? Yeah. What are you doing?
I don't understand.
I mean, we like it for the competition purposes, but what are you doing?
I want to win.
Okay. All right.
Get out early.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. All right, I'm going back to the NHL. The Oilers against the Buffalo
It didn't work
Sabres.
last month.
No, it didn't.
Nah, we'll see.
Okay.
Things change.
Oilers versus the Sabres. Connor McDavid, 0.5 power play points. Go with the over. It's plus 128.
How is that? Like, I feel like that's so low.
He's cheating.
No, I'm not. You can look at it.
Yeah, it's a power play.
You'll call me a cheater.
That's fair.
Not unless you have proof. And then when you do have proof, I'll still deny it.
It's called gaslighting, and it's effective.
This reminds me of one time I was in Nashville, and it was legal to bet there, and at the time, the Blues were playing the Montreal Canadiens, and I had been very new to this, and so I wanted an Ivan Barbashev point because at the time he had been on like a heater, and I completely put it in wrong. I put it in for a power play point, so I'm watching this game very intently. I'm with a bunch of buddies and whatnot, and lo and behold, we're waiting for the power play to get going.
Were you doing the power play dance?
No, I was not. I should have been, though.
Right.
But he was on the second unit. And so, the second unit doesn't get as much time as the first unit.
Sure.
But for whatever reason, I think Barbashev, they left him out there for the first unit or whatever, and he was taking the face off. And then, boom, right in the slot, little bumper play, shoots it in, scores. I went nuts. And I put it in wrong, though, but it ended up cashing.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is fun.
They had to hit higher. That had to be good odds, right?
Oh, it was. That's why I was like, wow, a point for that amount of odds? That's interesting.
That should have told you right away.
To stop doing it.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You probably had
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was an Army-Navy game that day, too. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, boys. Well, we're off a little earlier tonight because we've got the Southern Conference Championship, which tips off at 6 o'clock.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So we actually have what you learned, or what we learned, I guess, criticisms and compliments, as well as 3 stars of the day. That's next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. We are out of here early. We'll have the Southern Conference Championship for you coming up next. A little pregame before we have tip-off at 6 o'clock. So some college hoops following the fast lane. If you missed anything from today's show, including our interview with Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues insider from The Athletic, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. We are going to go over our 3 stars of the day. We'll read some criticisms and compliments, and of course, what we learned on this glorious Monday in St. Louis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com or on your Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Of course, all podcasts are brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. All right, time to find out what we learned. Carey, how about you lead us?
Well, I was looking at the water boy, and he reminded me what I learned today is that we are about a week away from 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs.
Oh, Carey's
thank you, water boy.
Favorite bet the board play.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Carey Davis model.
Yeah.
The Carey Davis special.
You're welcome, Jamie.
Whatever.
Jamie, what did you learn today?
Well, I learned that apparently I picked the Chicago Blackhawks to win a hockey game.
Yeah, you did. and
they won. So if I wasn't disappointed, even more about being happy that the Chicago Blackhawks.
Mm-hmm. Anthony's amazing at that. I tell you.
I really am.
For it.
If I want you to lose.
You pick the worst ones and then you win. That just goes to show you. Spite you. Okay, Stalter?
You know what, Jamie?
Huh?
You're right. Spite never wins.
I learned that last week.
Yep.
I went full spite.
He went full. Jamie, you missed it.
Oh, really?
Marsh.
I was pissed.
Handed out his bet the board pick. It happened to be Jamie's. Or I'm sorry, it happened to be Carey's pick. And Carey got so upset. He goes, you know what? Yeah, no, I'm going to do it. He went the opposite.
He faded him.
So it was an overplay for Marsh on Steph Curry. And Carey goes, fine, I'll take the under.
Oh.
Yeah. And the overhit, of course.
Lyle smoked it.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. Smoked it, yeah. Marsh, what did you learn?
I learned that I should just shut up when it comes to the sports six-pack.
No, we're not putting it that way.
No, just shut up, guys.
No, Marsh.
I won't say a damn thing the rest of the way.
I'm just a little surprised. Just a little surprised.
Okay. He tried to get it down to one segment. Anthony, I was like, what the hell? What?
No.
We did get a text.
We said not up in here.
Got a text from the 636. Thought I missed some questions. Went into the bank to cash a check. Took about 5 to 7 minutes. I came back out, started up the car, and radio goes, question number 2. I laughed so hard. LMAO.
That's awesome. What I learned today is that if Carey puts a 1-up in the air, that's not necessarily that he wants to ask or say whatever he wants to say right that second.
Yes.
Because we had JR on.
I just said, hey.
And I was doing the whole intro to JR, and Carey's this, and I stopped. I go, oh, well, Carey, do you have something to say? Apparently, he wanted to ask a question.
Just wanted to, sorry. We work on our hand signals.
Yeah, we do. Gator said the back tourney starts on Thursday. Thanks, Gator.
The Mac played on Tuesdays.
I know. That's what happened to Mac.
Yes.
That's weird.
Typically, yes.
What are they doing?
Quite frankly, I think this is bull spit.
There's no continuity within the Mac, it sounds like.
Well, I think this is an NCAA problem, quite frankly.
Well, it always is, right?
You're darn right. Marsh?
Yeah, the Water Boy, speaking of the Water Boy, wants to know if we will be using new sounders for the lineup game this year or the same one since we didn't get anyone new. And how is everyone feeling about the home run game and hit streak game this year? Any strategies?
Not great.
Are we? We've got
Remind
some
me.
talking to do.
Who? Jamie, did you win that or Marsh? Or
The home run?
Who won the home run?
I don't know. I think I did.
Did you?
Marshy might have.
I remember 2 years ago we went to the World Series, you and I.
Yeah.
It came down to Game 7 of the World Series because we were deadlocked.
Really? No, I don't know.
And then we drafted the entire game.
I did. I won by 1 point.
Over
Jamie.
Wow.
Now, I can't remember. Did we go to the point system last year?
With the home runs?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Did we?
Yeah. Yes, we did.
Your hitter
we
was
did.
10 points.
Yeah.
I got
And somebody got Tommy Pham, didn't they?
That was me.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
they
I
probably won it for
I
me.
got a pinch hitter home run from, which is the only reason I kept pace with Marshy, from,
Was it Burley?
no.
Luke and Baker.
Luke and Baker. That's it. Yeah.
I got a sports sick or a gauntlet question right about Brendan Donovan because Donovan hit one at the Field of Dreams game.
Oh, in Birmingham.
Maybe that was 2 years ago.
No, that was a
last
game at
year,
Rickwood.
Yeah, Rickwood. That's what it was. Yeah, and that was a big one that night.
Yeah, and the Sounders, that's completely up to Marshy because we're completely unqualified to do that.
Do you want to announce that, or did you just?
Or is it just a surprise?
No, there's new sounders.
There's new sounders. We heard them.
There's a few new ones.
They're fantastic.
But I'm always down for suggestions. You know, if people want to throw suggestions out there, text it in, throw it in the snake pit, whatever, and we'll sift through them and we'll see what we come up
If
with.
they're good, we'll contemplate. If they're bad, then you just won't ever hear them.
Yeah.
We got a few, already in there. With I think our biggest issue is whether or not BK and Ferrari will play them on opening day and not allow us to play
How can
them
we
first.
hide it from them? Can we have a thumb drive that we just for our show?
Here's the thing,
You know what?
Well, do we just beat them?
Can we put it on a floppy disk?
Beat them.
We could just tell them not to use them.
Yeah, but then they get all funny.
You
They
heard
think
me.
there's funny, and Tanner does it anyways.
Hear me out on this, okay?
Do we hide it in there under a different name?
Hear me out on this. We know where the cameras are in and out of the building, okay? We drag them to a location where there are no cameras, and we beat them.
Like the parking lot.
Or right next door.
Our office doesn't have cameras.
And it locks. The door locks.
It does.
Or windows, and it locks.
It doesn't have any windows.
And it's way bigger than the other one.
We beat them.
Yes, it is.
And then as we're walking out, we're like, don't play our sounders.
Yeah.
Because they might be confused. Like, why are we getting beat?
Oh, no, we make sure they know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I
You
mean,
have to
that's
create
fine.
a faux category. Like a fake folder.
A fake folder.
Yeah, fake folder of sounders.
That's a good call.
And it's
and
just
make them
like,
terrible.
I'm going to put on the conductor's hat. The Blues are doing great.
They're all of their show.
That'd be awesome. Actually,
Show us Nolan Gorman. It's like Tanner saying something. That's pretty good. Of course, now we just brought it on air.
They don't listen to our show.
I think BK does.
He does.
Ferrario and T-Bone don't. I know that for sure. They hate us.
All right, anyways, we got a text. Kind of going back to what Jamie said about...
You might be the only one that appreciates my humor, Jamie.
No, it is funny.
No, it's okay. Go ahead, Mark.
No, you're funny.
Yeah, everybody tell Anthony he's funny.
Please. No telling what I'll do.
Okay, so Jamie brought up right before the Gauntlet, or maybe it was after the Gauntlet, that he couldn't hear what the question was in random last week, the golf question, because Ashley had the blow dryer on.
And dry her hair at that moment.
Yeah, we got a few different people that texted in from the 314. I actually tell my wife, do not call me at 4. The other 314 says, my wife has an uncanny ability to call and check in during the Gauntlet. Triggered.
Yeah. It's true.
I could see that. I told you. Don't call me at 4 o'clock.
Just don't answer.
Well, but if your phone is...
If you're in the car and it rings and it's connected to the Bluetooth.
Send it to voicemail.
She calls back.
Voicemail.
Something with a kid.
Take a hint.
Something with a kid.
I'll call you.
Why you gotta go there? I was keeping it lighthearted. Now a kid got hit by a bus. Like, come on.
I didn't say that. You just ramped it up.
You did take it a bit further.
Man.
It popped in my head.
Okay.
All right, 3 stars of the day. Our third star of the day is going to go to Anthony's burner account.
Yeah. I didn't know I had one until today. That was definitely me, though.
You.
Yep.
Second star of the day. I know you neglect this thing, Anthony, but we're going to give a star to your iPod Shuffle.
Yeah.
I can't wait to load up.
He doesn't even know what it is.
Yes, I do.
Jamie, he said it might be in the bag.
But he never proved it to us.
He didn't.
I actually don't think it's in the bag. I think it's at home.
What's in the bag? What's in the bag?
You don't want to know.
Killian walking around.
By the way,
hey, that's mine.
I got a text from Ashley. Bruh, are you really ish talking me on the radio right now?
Well, don't blow dry your hair. I'm just trying to hear the answer.
Right now, he was 2 hours ago.
Maybe she'll have to go back and listen to the podcast. But no, honey, your hair looked great after. I'm sure it was worth it. Me not getting the answer to the question. You know? Bye.
You got it today, 4 days later.
Imagine the stress I'm under.
At any point, he could have texted us.
What was the answer? That is the worst, though, when you want to know, like,
yeah. No, I mean, okay, honey. Thanks.
First star of the day goes to the Sports Six-Pack.
Yeah, Marcy. Nice job.
All 2 questions.
All 2 questions.
We got 4.
We got 4.
Oh, wow.
We carried the other one over.
This just escalated.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Good thing we have a minute left in the show.
Don't hate that I have hair to blow dry.
Oh, wow.
So you fall asleep tonight. That's actually punishing me then.
Yeah.
All right, Ashley, fine.
That just hurts.
I no longer lift the seat to pee. What's the other thing? Let's talk about the splashback deuce, eh? We'll see what that works.
Well, no one's safe, right?
No one's safe.
No one's safe,
No, she
yeah.
drew first blood. You guys heard it.
No, she did. Yeah, she did.
Okay.
Jamie?
Yeah, good luck.
Sorry. You know? I am. That's low. And she knows it.
She does, too.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Can we do the Sports Six-Pack again? Sure, Brandon.
We still are.
We're still in it. All right, we've got Southern Conference Championship. Tip-off at 6 o'clock. I think the Terriers are taking on the Paladins tonight in that conference tournament. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Looking forward to that. For Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. We will see you.